right. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Ace Attorney trilogy, but specifically Spirit of Justice. Last time we wrapped up the investigation for day 2. We're heading into the trial. We learned quite a lot of extra stuff. Not quite sure how everything's going to come together yet, but we have all the clues we're going to need for it. So let's get back into it. A little loud. All right. Just this. I think this is not in the right place. Okay. May 12th, 9:34 a.m. High Court of Kurin accused lobby. All right, let's do a little refresher here. Got a badge, very important. This is our Swiss Army knife of random information. Autopsy report. Red dagger. You sure? Oh, wait, same age. Current clergy, somewhere in their bodies. Huh. I don't think we've ever used the like they've mentioned the tattoos at some point, or like a couple times over the time we've been in this case. But it's never been important for anything yet, which is interesting. I didn't realize I had evidence that kind of pointed out because it might be relevant at some point. Body, ooh. Oh man, You know, I'm thinking, so now we know there's a secret passage behind this. And where there's the hideout. It looks like a rebel hideout, but also the lady, well, the wife of him might be back there because, well, we'll get to her, like a little hideout for her. Also, yeah, there's this weird thing of snow. We never did anything in that rock. Huh. Just still don't know what this is. It's I don't know. What would why would this be here? Must be maybe the little tablets we saw in the cave. Maybe they're out there. I don't know how they would move those though. Like, we know they can fall over, and that's gonna be relevant in some way. The Maya statement, spring was already stayed red, because we know pretty likely someone was murdered inside the hideout area. But Kira, only someone capable of entering the priest's home could have delivered it, which is again probably going to point to the wife. It's not Maya, because it's literally the only other person alive that was in the house. One kind plus trap, yeah, which is going to be evidence at some point for some reason. Again, we know it's all this like Plume Punisher stuff's going to be relevant to pointing out the killer in some way. I mean, it does connect them to the cave, I guess. Like, it seems there's going to be even more to it than that. This is the overhead map, which is fine. We know about all that. Guy who's apparently, I should have checked, but yeah, apparently he was stabbed and dead for a while before. And like he was stabbed and dead in the middle, like a crowd of people praying on the ground, and just no one noticed until days later. We know probably the time of death is messed up because he was out in the cold. They specifically talked about the time of death stuff. Body temperature, warbad dagger. This was relevant for finding the rebels. Not sure it's gonna be relevant again. Probably might be. Same with this. Like, this is important for identifying Dat's a rebel as a true believer in the cause. May not be relevant for the case. So here's a little picture of the family. This picture shows that she's the one who's interested in Plume Punisher, excuse me, and the orb that was in the house that is the key to unlocking the secret hideout. Because they have the key to the secret hideout, yes, this is a rebel family, probably. Maybe not her, we don't know. Her relationship is really strange. Use the blessings held the day before the rite. Get the time, it's going to be very important. Starts at noon on the day before the rite, must be finished by 3 p.m. the same day. Cool. It says, they haven't said it, but it says Lady Kira's real name. Imsan. And then just a picture for reference. The law book, which again was important for That's a Rebel. After a very long time scrutinizing his name, we finally figured out what the pun was. So yeah, and here's all the Plume Princess stuff. And the only person this can be relevant to is the wife of the High Priest. Balib. Lady Balib. But it's like, it goes against, like, if this is here, it goes against her persona as Lady Kira. But there's maybe more to Lady Kira's persona than we know, but it's kind of established that she works for the government, so, like, it shouldn't be here. Is she playing a double agent? Kind of. It's really strange. They're gonna have to elaborate on exactly what this is. Yeah, the blood here. So what I realized is that statue could have stabbed someone, you know, on this side too. We know there's a lot of blood here. Ooh. The blood, this is probably part of the rotating platform. We know there's blood down here. Yeah, here. This is the part that rotates. So maybe Zealot wasn't killed. No, he had to be killed in the cave because the blood's here. But I'm saying, like, maybe it was... No, it had to be killed on the blank part for this blood to be here and the splatters over there. Because I'm thinking, oh, maybe he got stabbed by the statue in the cave, but no, this kind of negates that, I think. Well, I don't know, because I forget what's the position the statue was in when we came in here. I guess it was like halfway. It's very strange. I guess we'll see. And yeah, I'm like 99% sure this statue, or this the thing with this is that it is going to be like, oh, because we're gonna see the divination seance, and all it's gonna be is like just the green floor, and like, oh yeah, the guy was killed on the mat. And no, we're gonna point out, oh no, he was on this stone slab. It was pushed down because you can push it down really easy in the cave, and like that's gonna be super relevant somehow. And when these, like, I thought these handprints were from someone pushing it over, but no, that's Zealot's handprints when he was praying, I believe. But we'll see. All right, I think I got a grasp on the information. Let's continue. High Court of Kuren, accused lobby. Maya looks exhausted, but I can't blame her. Nick, I was thinking about it all day yesterday. Never properly asked you to defend me, did I? Doesn't matter. I'm on this case till the bitter end. I know, that's why I wanted to officially ask you for your help. You got it, Maya. Let's do this. You gotta wrap this up and get back home so you can make your dream show come true. The Steel Samurai versus the Plume Punisher, right? You bet. Makes me wonder if there's gonna be like a rebel vigilante, like pro-rebel vigilante or something. Because they keep referencing Steel Samurai versus Plume Punisher, and we know maybe Plume Punisher sort of represents Lady Kira in like a way, not officially in any way, but just kind of themed sort of. I guess we'll find out. You look as if you did not sleep last night. Barbed head, it is written all over your face. I mean, it should be easy to spot, right? How can you expect to put up a respectable defense like that? Well fired up and raring to go. Guess Maya's not the only one looking exhausted. Reva doesn't seem in the best spirits herself. Humph. Go ahead and feign confidence now while you are still able. Probably the divine seance is not to her liking. It probably doesn't show much. For I will see to it that your last rites are read to you this day. Guess it was just my imagination. Sure, Phoenix. Ready, Nick? Okay, Maya, let's head on in. May 12th, High Court of Kuren. One to say. Alright. Sadamari, Judge, how you guys doing? Now then, if everyone's ready. The defense is ready, Your Majesty. The prosecution is ready. Let us begin without further delay. Oh, no prayers today? Oh, no prayers? No prayers this time, Prosecutor Sadamari? I already offered my prayers for the latest victim during my visit to the crime scene. Being that the accused has already been found guilty of the first murder, Let us hasten this trial so we may put this dead lawyer walking out of his misery. I could not agree more. Well, thanks. In yesterday's trial, the accused was already found guilty of murdering the high priest. And today she will be tried for the murder of his disciple, Pure Zalat. Right. Now the prosecutor Sadamati, your opening statement, if you would. Certainly. The accused has now slain two of the most devout clergymen in Kuranism. Even the lowest level of hell, the hell of tickling, would not be punishment enough. Wait, that's the lowest hell? I didn't catch that the first time he said that. If he did say that, like that's at the worst over pulling out your nails. Well, under pulling out your nails, I guess I should say. Gulp. Then, what terrible fate awaits her? Ooh, Bagilopo on hell, a realm of eternal agony. There she would suffer the endless punishment of Jagar by the Gulun of Molten. Furthermore, oh my god, enough! My blood runs cold at the mere thought of such a terrible place. Such a terrible place exists. I was going to ask for a translation, but on second thought, ignorance is bliss. Doesn't matter, Phoenix. Now then, please continue, minus the part about the terrible hell awaiting the accused. I mean, I guess you don't have to worry about it. Like, yes, these guys have powers, but they clearly don't understand them too well. Because, like, they think their queen is, like, super unique and powerful because she can channel spirits. That's actually kind of, I don't want to say common, but other people are able to do that too without the royal blood, which means there's a fundamental misunderstanding about how this works, kind of. And if there's a fundamental misunderstanding about that, there's, well, doesn't speak well of the rest of their beliefs. As you wish. The victim of this heinous crime was the high priest's disciple, Prezulat. I mean, I guess we spent a lot of time with the face specifically, but presumably there's lots of other, well, again, lots being relative, but other spirit mediums out there, because we went to that, forget the temple in the third Ace Attorney game was specifically for spirit mediums, or it was just a spiritual getaway. Hard to say, I forget. I think it was specifically about spirit mediums though, because a lot of them had Mag and Thomas, didn't they? Oh well. He had been training under the high priest while living at the priest's home. Okay. I had met him a number of times and he seemed like an earnest young man. How tragic that he met such a terrible end. Murder occurred at the Plaza of Devotion during the purification rite. Weird. I don't know how this tattoo's gonna be relevant. I spoke, like when we came in here, we talked about, oh yeah, these markings on their faces might be relevant, but I'm not, like, it has to connect to that in some weird way. Oh, like these, actually it's the shading, right? The little red parts on the outer edges probably means something when you take away the leaves and peach part. You just filled it in to like hide the markings. I just don't know what they would be. Maybe connecting to them to a rebel? It's weird if the rebels had their own markings, because, you know, kind of bad for business in that way, if that's true. Hard to hide or be incognito. You have required tattoos for your organization. Occurred at the Plaza of Devotion during the purification rite. It was a bold crime carried out while the plaza was full of the faithful deep in prayer. The Warbad dagger was found impaled in the victim's upper back. Stabbing caused a spinal cord injury that killed him instantly. Yeesh. Now the Warbad dagger, Lady Kira's weapon of choice. We have already established that the accused prints were on the weapon. Incredibly damning evidence in itself, yeah. No, I didn't do it. Amnesia, just not amnesia, memory loss is saving us, or, you know, doing a lot of work for the prosecution. Hold your tongue. Now, being that the accused Maya Fey is a serial killer, sure. I mean, we are accusing her of being Lady Kira, then yes, I guess she's a serial killer. Although, I mean, 2 people is technically serial killing because she turns in all the other people to the jail, I guess. I forget if they said Lady Kira killed people, because all we know is her turning people into jail. But if they just want to speak about these 2 murders, then I guess technically it's a serial killing. The prosecution believes that the death penalty is the only possible sentence. Would the defense care to respond? The accused is innocent and nothing can convince me otherwise. After all, the crime scene was packed with worshippers. How could my client possibly have committed this murder without a single witness? Oh, excuse me. The accused's fingerprints on the murder weapon alone is enough to render a verdict. As such, I see no need to debate this any further. But, actually, wait, does the, I don't think she does. Lady Kira doesn't wear gloves, right? No, she does not. If they're going to claim her to be the outlaw or Lady Kira, then we have to clarify, does the costume wear gloves and she shouldn't have been spotted then, or have those prints placed? But no, don't get lucky this time. But, well, once her benevolence conducts her seance, it will be clear for all to see. Your Majesty, might I have a word? Something the matter, Prosecutor Sadamati? You're not going to try to hide the divination seance, are you? It's about the divination seance. Your benevolence. Stop right there, Prosecutor Sadamati. As you wish, forgive me overstepping my bounds. What is that all about? Barbed Head, have you made peace with your fate? This time, the divination seance will bring you to your knees. I'm ready, and I accept your challenge. The only problem is I have no weapons at my disposal. The only hope now is what we can glean from the seance vision and Rafa's insights. Very well, the divination seance, if you please, your benevolence. Yes, let us begin. Nena.
Oh,
right.
Holy Mother, we hold this divination seance in your name.
Yeah, it definitely sounds way older than 14,
Let
but
the eyes of everyone here be clear, and our ears be unstopped.
I guess I don't listen to a lot of 14-year-old girls, so I can't say for sure.
Oh, dance of devotion, guide the victim's soul to me, so that we may receive their final memories in the pool of souls.
I guess it's harder to find English voice actors that have a, what do you call it, very soft, light voice. Although, I watch, I like VTubers, excuse me. And there's some recent, like, Gura, and there's also, what was her name? I forget her, I know her, like, nickname, Bibu. I don't know what her full actual name is. She sounds very young. Worryingly young at some points, actually. But... No, they're out there, I guess. Shame the voice acting conditions for English aren't as good as Japan. Although I don't know, well, I mean, they make a lot more pay. They're more well respected in Japan. I don't know about the rest of it, though. All right. See what we got. Expecting this to be a weird one. Like, it actually might just be him looking at the floor and nothing else. Or pitch blackness. It's probably, for bet money, pitch black for mostly. He's gonna open his eyes briefly to see the green on the floor. He's gonna die in it. And that's it. All right. It's weird they have to do all that like dancing to get this vision to work. Like, spirit mediums just kind of do it, and they get the, like, put the ghosts in their body. Not a whole lot of, like, fancy stuff to it. Nothing? I don't get it. Why wasn't there anything to see? Your benevolence, what in the world? Erg, I was unable to evoke any sort of response. Called out the spirit's name many times, or name many times, but to no avail. Oh, it's not his real name, is it? Because they know his face, but you need to know his face and their name to call the spirit. We talked about this at some point. I thought, wait, what does he know that we don't? It's not to confirm the contents of today's divination seance. After all, it is customary for the prosecutor to verify it beforehand. Come to think of it, must go perform a divination seance, yeah, for pure Zalot. It is our custom for the prosecution to review its contents before a trial begins. This is why I sought to stop her benevolence from performing it here. However, she insisted that it be done. I wish to try it one more time here in the Hall of Justice. It appears her benevolence is tired from her manifold duties. I'm not anything of the sort. The victim's spirit will not answer my call, but I know not why. It is my sacred duty to convey the truth through divination seance. Through the divination seance. Very fun. What are we to do without a divination seance? Suppose I shall have to deliver the last rites without them. The prosecution has already taken that into account when preparing for today. Cool, nice that you get to prepare all this, but I had to just fly by the seat of my pants. Oh well. I'm fully capable of proving the accused's guilt with or without a divination seance. You never failed to impress, Prosecutor Sadamati. This is bad. Divination seance was my only and one and only hope. Magistrate, her benevolence said she isn't tired, so shouldn't we try to find out why the divination seance had failed? How curious, Mr. Wright. Why have you suddenly taken a keen interest in the divination seance? Because it's important to our case. Yes, explain yourself. Divination seance is for shedding light on the accused's crimes. It is the Holy Mother's hammer of wrath that is ever poised to pound you. Oh my God, ever poised to pound you into your grave. You should fear it, not plead for it. Believe my client. Plus, yesterday, someone told me. I believe my clients. Plus, yesterday, somebody told me something that changed my mind. The divination seance was once thought of as just another piece of evidence. If we were to correctly interpret the visions through careful analysis, then they would lead us to the truth behind what really happened. And the truth will show that my client Maya Fey is innocent. Truth is, you don't have anything else to fall back on, huh, Nick? Maya, please, you're not helping. How dare you? The voice of Mitama is to be feared, not utilized by vile lawyers such as you. The answer is exact a heavy toll upon the royal priestess. It would be best not to burden her any further. Or does the defense feel that it can pose no counter-arguments without the seance? No, of course not. Stop right through me. To find a way to make the divination seance happen or we're toast. Well, since the divination seance is not possible at this time, I see no other choice. Let's proceed with the retrial without the seance as Prosecutor Sadamati suggested. Thank you, Magistrate. Why, I will not forget this, barbed head. This will not be the last you see of me. I'm trying to help you, sort of, kind of. I want to have you have your seance so I can prove you're wrong. Now then, I will proceed by providing an outline of the case at hand. Very well. If the lead detective would please come to the stand, we may begin. Oh, hey, you. Again. Sorry, Mr. Wright. Detective Sky, I understand how you would wish to save the accused and the defense. They are your friends, after all. but you must let them go and move on. He just loves saying this. Just forget about it. Just quit. Give up. But there is only one way to save them now, and giving their souls the chance to burn away the taint of their sins in the infernal flames. Oh, I can't do this. No eating in the Sacred Hall of Justice. The sky. Yes? Don't worry about me and Nick. You just do your job. Sure, Nick will figure something out eventually. Right, thanks, Miss Faye. Very brave for a criminal with a tainted soul. Very well, Detective Sky, please proceed. Okay, I can do this. Let me start with an overview of this case. Yeah, that rain's coming down hard. I don't know if you can hear that. Probably not. But it is heavy rain out today. Overview of the second murder. Hopefully there's no power outages. There's one the last time it rained this heavy, just because I think someone's hitting a pole or something. It's not uncommon for it to go out during the rain because of that. Latest victim was Pure Zulat. He had been training under the High Priest and living at his house for the past 2 years. High Priest's widow, Believe in Me, has identified the victim's body. He may have been mistaken for a rebel and killed due to his connection to the High Priest. Oh, it was not a mistake to recognize him as a rebel. That's we can probably prove. Probably. I see. Well, that certainly makes sense. Would the defense care to respond? It's my inconsistencies in her testimony so far. I don't have any evidence in my arsenal. What am I going to do now? I mean, it's a pretty brief testimony. I gotta press it. What is it, Maya? I'm just wondering about how much the police actually looked into Acolyte Zalat. Because it just might prove to be the key as to why the divination seance failed. What are you getting at? Well, it's just a hunch. Wait a second. During my investigation, Griffith told me about how the divination seance works. I can figure out why it failed. Maybe she could try it again. Okay, time to press for some more information. Yeah, so we're gonna find out his identity is not quite what it seems. Overview of the second murder. Which that tattoo is probably gonna be really relevant for figuring that out, actually. Latest victim was Pure Zulat.
Hold it!
Hold it! What kind of person was Acolyte Zalat? According to the neighbors and the others who knew him, I guess they picked him up on the side of the road, didn't they? Like, no one's, like, he doesn't have any actual family. Just kind of adopted, hanging out here. No one truly knows who he is other than what he claims. He's a deeply devout youth. I too have heard his name mentioned as one who was fervent practitioner. Suppose you might say he was the High Priest's star disciple. Furthermore, he had been training under the High Priest and living at his house for the past 2 years.
Hold it!
2 years? Are you sure about that? We took statements from his neighbors and his fellow monks. They all corroborate. Oh my god. Corroborate. Yeah, there we go. You say it like that. I'm getting it across. It just sounds like I'm too much W in there. Corroborate our initial findings. Can't help myself though. What about you, Maya? Well, when I first came here, I saw Zalat praying under the High Priest's instruction. I see. So the results of the police investigation seem to check out. The High Priest's widow, Believe in Me, has identified the victim's body. Okay, this is probably the important one. Was Mrs. Enmy's positive ID the only way you verified the identity of the victim? Huh? Well, no. This will check the ID card he carried, the date in his family registry. But what? His personal information didn't match any of the public records we cross-referenced. Really? Maybe that's why the divination seance failed. Not sure what you mean, Mr. Wright. Here's what I'm thinking. Pure Zalat is a fake name. Kind of a bombshell we're dropping here out of nowhere. The victim decided to hide his identity for some reason. I'm glad it's getting straight to the point though, like this is what we're talking about. In other words, he was using a fake name. Royal Priestess uses a deceased face and true name to summon their spirit. Why yes, that is indeed true. He was using a forged ID and there is no mention of him in our public records. And he was likely an illegal immigrant. They are not uncommon here in Kuraen. Illegal immigrant? Come to think of it, Rafa mentioned something about immigrants yesterday. Yeah, that too. But that's the case, we have no way of knowing who he really is. Let them proceed without holding a divination seance this time. Urk. I always thought that Acolyte Zealot was Kuranese. Oh, how the High Priest must be lamenting his disciples' deception in the Twilight Realm. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you think? Can we add this to the testimony? Yeah, do it. It's an important fact. Please add it to the testimony. Would seem to be fact most inconvenient for the defense. But if you insist, Detective Sky, please add what you just said to your testimony. Yes, Your Majesty. What do we had exactly? He was an illegal immigrant, so we don't know his real name. He may have been mistaken for a rebel and killed due to his connection to the High Priest. Hold it! What about this one? Why isn't that Lady Kira has been going around capturing rebels? Sorry, Mr. Wright, but objection. That verdict was already handed down in the previous trial. It is no longer a point of dispute, and I will not allow you to make it so. What? No ifs, ands, and most of all, no buts. I like butts. The accused was posing as Lady Kira. She killed Acolyte Zealot because she mistakenly believed him to be a rebel. That's not true. Sorry, the verdict has already been read in that case. I have to assume that it's fact now. Now what do we do? I know why the divination seance failed, but things really changed. Which means we're in big trouble. He really was an illegal immigrant. It's going to be real hard to find out his real name. His only choice is to give up on the whole divination seance thing. Only there was some way to find out the victim's real name. Alright, I skipped the one we unlocked because we might need to press that. Press. Isn't there some way to track down his real name? No, not if he was an illegal immigrant. Have you actually confirmed that he was in Kuraen illegally? Well, we don't have any conclusive evidence. There's also no evidence of him being a citizen of Kuraen either. Oh boy, now what do we do? What if there was a clue in the evidence you gathered? That's probably our only hope at this point. If he really was an illegal immigrant, the proverbial goose is probably cooked. Okay, so evidence that proves he's a Kuraenist or whatever, Kuranese. So a decent point is this tattoo. I just said earlier, yeah, that this peach part's probably filled in, but it might actually represent a different thing. But we can't. That's a jump. That's not immediate logic. We don't know that only the Kuranese have these tattoos for a fact. Like an illegal can still get the tattoos, can't they? But this doesn't necessarily prove anything at this point. Well, this is all related to the first murder, so that being said, I don't know what else would be the evidence here. Like, he has no direct connection to this yet. This is guilty. Here's a name, like there's a pointed out name, but like, it's, again, a super jump to just claim it's his. A blessing. Tattoo seems like our best bet, but it's like, it's so... It doesn't feel clear. It doesn't feel deliberate. Like the patriots of the departed, but not specifically Kuranese. It's something the Kuranese use, but it can be used on anyone. That tattoo seems like the best bet, but that's still really dicey to me. Let's go ahead and save preemptively here. Give it a shot. But a little bit more, so we don't know his real name. I think I'm missing in like here. No plan, Muck, Nikita, Penchery. I mean, Meal Surgeon, no, that's a rebel. Bust. Less than me, it's not gonna be relevant. Inner Sanctum, not gonna be relevant. Stan, not gonna be relevant. What in me? No, it can only be this. Let's try it.
Objection!
Yeah, I like danced around it, but it's not that clear, but it should be. It's the best thing, so this is what it is. Sorry, Detective Sky, but the police missed something important in their investigation. Because I'm not even sure what the tattoo means, but I guess we're gonna figure that out as we go. What are you talking about? The victim was undeniably a Kuranese native, and this crime scene photo proves it. Does? It's a little hard to see, but look closely. You'll see clear proof that the victim was a Kuranese. Where? I don't see anything that would prove that. Where the victim was Kuranese. Look at this tattoo right here. Boy, that's a tattoo of a peach. I would like you to think about the meaning of this tattoo. Oh, and the victim really liked peaches? Yeah, I don't feel like there's... they vaguely talked about tattoos, but there's nothing that, like, doesn't really pointed out, like, they never made a point, like, man, that's a really strange tattoo or anything. I think they slightly mentioned, oh, it's a peach. Kind of weird. Like, nothing... It still feels like a leap of logic somewhat, even though I got it correct. But oh well, I'm not gonna harp on it anymore. Victor really liked peaches? Well, peaches are our favorite delicacy here in Kuren. They happen to be a personal favorite of mine. Really, the sweetness of their abundant nectars, the softness of their perfectly ripe flesh. They are a blessing from the Holy Mother herself. Nick, I've suddenly got a craving for peaches. I like a peach every once in a while. Not by itself, usually as a juice. After this trial, Maya, right now we have a bigger fish to fry. Fortunately, that is not a tattoo of a peach. It's not a peach, you say, then what is it? Take a closer look. Haven't you seen something like this, like that before? Oh, yeah, I didn't even realize. Yeah, it is the peach. But I thought it had to be on his forehead. That's why I didn't even consider it. Naming the tattoo on the High Priest's brow. Oh my, what? This mark, it's only become, this is only born, oh my god, this is only born by members of the Kuranese clergy.
Objection.
That is what you believe it to be. But are they not utterly different shapes? No. The shape's actually the one thing they are similar in. Sure, they're shaped differently, but there's a reason for that. Victim had the peach-shaped tattoo inked over an existing tattoo for some reason. However, that dark red portion is exactly the same as the mark all Kuranese clergy bear. Hey, you're right. That's something I failed to pick up on. We kind of got lucky anyway, because just because I noticed the oddity of the tattoo. So about 20 odd years ago, everyone did get one, didn't they? Actually weird. I wish I could look at profiles when I was presenting. But yeah, this is what's supposed to lead you there. I myself bear one on my right. Oh my god, that's entirely too much information on your majesty. Information on everyone who enters the clergy is maintained at the temple. All we have to do is look up a monk with a mark in the same spot. I'm on it. I'll let you know if I get any hits. That will not be necessary. You seek information on the clergy. I have it all right here. Oh my, you never cease to amaze. So tell us, is there anyone who fits the bill? What do we got? What do we got? There's just one, and his name is Real Nemu. Okay. Let's look at this. Nemu. It's a real name. Alright, he became a monk 20 years ago. What happened to him? And that must be the victim's real name. But why would he have tried to cover up his tattoo with another one? Yeah, there must be some reason. He had to hide his identity, I guess. Mick, that's not important right now. The important thing is we know his real name. No, it's real important. Right. Your Majesty, now that we know the victim's real name, the donation seance might finally work. I'm a lawyer willing seeks a seance. This is entirely unprecedented. Wouldn't you be alive when this used to happen all the time? Like the 23 years ago? Not really, Judge. You're about digging your own grave, Defense. We won't know until we try. Sure, it's risky, but it's our only hope. Very well. Let the divination seance be held once more. Cool, because the prosecution doesn't get to see it ahead of time. Although maybe he magically knows everything that's already going to be in it. Oh god, I don't have to see that cutscene again. Why would a lawyer work so hard to see the divination seance be held once more? You're a fool, Barbed, and your foolishness shall yield no gratitude from me. With the truth revealed by my insights, I shall gladly seek your demise. Bring it on, princess. There you go. That's how you talk to her, Phoenix. Because I will correctly interpret each and every one of your insights. You will regret ever thinking you could use my secret insights as evidence.
Oh, Holy
Oh,
Mother,
God.
we hold
We're doing this again, aren't we?
Seance in your name.
Oh, boy.
Let the eyes of everyone here be clear, and our ears be unstopped. O dance of devotion, guide the victim's soul to me, so that we may receive their final memories in the pool of souls.
Oh god, we're doing it again. How you guys doing? How was that state of play from PlayStation yesterday? It was pretty decent, I guess. Excited for Dragon's Dogma 2. Finally got clarification. So I was wondering what vocation to play in that game. Thief or Magic Archer, and they revealed the Wayfarer class, which can switch and use abilities or weapons from any class or vocation. It's the same thing, classification. So now I could technically do both if I wanted to, which is tempting. Although it's an RPG and splitting damage types, because you know, damage in the original game or physical damage scaled with strength, magical damage scaled with intelligence. I think it was called. It was straight magic. No, it's called magic. So if I did both, I would need to split my stats, and that's generally not a good idea in RPGs. Probably not going to do that. It's interesting. Also, they showed they were remaking Sonic Generations, and that's exciting because they're adding a bunch of Shadow content. People are hyped for that. We're probably gonna. I have never played Sonic Generations before, so I'll probably pick that up. Enjoy that new Shadow content too. It's kind of a Nintendo did the Super Mario World re-release with Bowser's Fury Tech on, which is like a kind of a bonus game. And for Sonic Shadow Generations, it's kind of the same deal. The Shadow portions are a tacked on campaign of indeterminate length. I bet it's going to be depressingly short, personally. Because the content looked decent. I don't know if it's going to be good, but it looks good. Probably the best trailer for a 3D Sonic game in years. Alright, let's see this. Yeah, there's the stone wall statue. Punisher theme, heavy. Like trying to push it. All right, well. Oh my. It is just as Mr. Wright surmised, Puree lot wasn't the victim's true name. Now at last we have seen the victim's final moments. So I was basically right, and we're going to be playing off sounds, and now I know exactly how all the Steel Samurai theme song and all that's going to play in now. I should have thought of that, actually. We have so many immediate things to point out, so many contradictions that could come up to counter the prosecution's argument that are very, very clear off the bat. And now we have seen the victim's final moments, but all we could see was the ground. He seemed terribly disappointed. I take it you did not find any fodder for one of your infamous turnabouts. Nick, I found like 4 or 5 of them, dude, but don't worry. I, on the other hand, discovered something. Conclusive evidence that establishes the accused guilt. Give me 1 second. There we go. Better. Gotta blow my nose real quick. You did? Ha Most surprising surprise attack. So tell us, Prosecutor Sadamati, what is this conclusive evidence you have found? The Plume Punisher theme song that the deceased heard. Please consider this item here. It's confiscated from the accused during her interrogation. Hey, that's my Plume Punisher strap. When you press the magnetoma on the Plume Punisher belt, put a Plume Punisher's belt. Sounds bad. Ah! Phoenix, you know this is wrong for like 3 different reasons. Seems the accused inadvertently pressed the button in the midst of her crime. How? She's stabbing someone. Well, whatever. It's not important. The strap is an extremely rare item. It's not Mr. Faye. You better not break it. There's only one of those in the whole wide world. I know. So there's tons of things that can make the same noise. It's just as I said. Your flights of fancy have come crashing down on you. She sure seems to be enjoying this. Yeah, I've never seen her look so thrilled before either. It's time to accept the fact that the divination seance is far more than a mere evidence. It's the very truth that brings the hammer of justice down upon the accused. That is conclusive as evidence can get. Now then, if there are no further objections...
Objection!
Slow down there, your majesty. At least let me make a counter-argument. What's this? Do you take issue with the divination seance? Of course, dude. Oh, I have issues with it. I just don't know what they are yet. God. That's never stopped me before. How could you? Like, I've said it before, like, him and Apollo Justice, the first game in this trilogy, completely different. How can he predict so far ahead in that first case, but just completely flop here? Yeah, I keep saying it, Phoenix, just lose the badge. You're so much better without it. Divination seance is not the absolute truth. It only becomes the truth after it's been interpreted correctly. Kurt, you do not know when you are being, do you, you foolish lawyer? I am the one who speaks for the mitama of the deceased. You believe there to be errors in my insights, and let us see you prove it. Let's do it. Rayfa's insight. Victim was offering up his prayers. It was the night of the rite. Though it's dark, the pattern of the plaza's ground was visible. And someone was there, and the theme of the Plume Punisher filled the air. The accused held the defenseless victim down and plunged her knife into his neck. The blade showed too, and in that instant, he departed from this world. That is everything the deceased experienced in his final moments. So you think, I don't don't know if the high priest was like, so we're kind of running with the idea in my head. Well, I'm running with the idea that the high priest kind of killed himself by impaling himself on the statue. But did this guy do the same? Because I'm trying to determine like the guilt of the wife, because again, it's going to be important at some point. It's like not impossible. I don't know exactly, because we don't know exactly what happened. Maybe this guy was killed by the rotating statue too, somehow. Kind of unlikely, but maybe. Maybe the wife just covered it up. I don't know for sure. We'll just keep going. There's everything the deceased experienced in his final moments. Her benevolence insights have painted a detailed picture, both vivid and true. I didn't notice any holes there. As they stand now, those insights are really stacked against us. Just have to go over each and every one of the deceased's sensations carefully. Victim was offering up his prayers. What the? Hold on. Ingilo. Isn't that heavy? Knight of the Right. Isn't the Gingil the really smelly stuff? Feast which starts at noon the day before the rite and must finish by 3 p.m. the same day. Day before the rite, so yeah. That one seems pretty obvious. Oh, so let's just point it out. Oop. We're gonna be going through this thing a bunch more times, so let's not worry about the rest of this for now.
Objection!
Was it really the night of the rite? What do you mean? Not be otherwise. The accused slew Acolyte Zealot after killing the high priest during the purification rite. The only problem is the deceased spirit does not corroborate that. What's this? Take a good look at what the victim smelled. Do you see how it says Gingil? Acolyte Zealot shouldn't have smelled any Gingil on the night of the rite. Well, what do you mean? Let me back up my statement with some evidence for you. This should explain how the victim couldn't have smelled Gingil on the night of the rite. Boom. The high priest's wife believed in me and told me about the Feast of Blessings. The feast includes a number of Gingil-based dishes, and they're only supposed to be served at a certain time of the day before the rite. Well, I believe you're right. I had completely forgotten about that. Nice. Glad you're taking your religion very seriously, Judge. During the feast, the unique smell of Gingil, I think it's right, pervades the entire kingdom. The fact that the victim smelled it means he was murdered between noon and 3 p.m. the day before the purification rite. What the autopsy? But it was cold. That's enough. I'm not so easily fooled. That autopsy report not make it clear? The estimated time of death was during the rite. Oh right, I taught her about that yesterday. Forgive me, your benevolence, but the estimated time of death is just that, an estimate. Depending on the circumstances, it's possible for it to change. What's this? Like if a body was kept cold, or the slow rate of decay makes death seem more recent. Well, I believe I heard something of the sort before. If it is as Mr. Wright claims, the estimated time of death in the autopsy report will have to be revised. There we go. Good, we got that out of the way fast. I thought we might have to go through a whole thing. Barb's head, you blinded me with science. Oh, wow. I expect that reference. Sorry. Wait, what am I apologizing for? No matter. The murder may have occurred in the afternoon hours of the day before the rite. Nevertheless, I just think of Metal Gear Solid 5 every time I hear that song now. I can't sing. YouTube might pick up on that. Oh, even though I really want to. Murder weapon with the accused prince is on it. It's oh my god, incontrovertible evidence. Way too early in the morning to make me making mistakes like that. I will not amend my insight to account for this new truth. Okay, but this like completely changes everything. Like, it's in the middle of the day. Weren't there other people there already? Oh, well, game. The other people there weren't there that matter. They were just so focused they didn't notice the guy getting stabbed. Sure. It was the afternoon of the day before the rite. Though it's dark, the pattern on the plaza's ground was visible. Time of death has been corrected, leaving my insight infallible. Nick, a change in the time of death is bound to cause some sort of inconsistency. That's something that showed what it was like on that day. It could really help. Pause, court record, Swiss Army knife. Thick white ice that froze the ground from the inner sanctum to the Plaza Devotion. There it is. I can just look at the ground, right? Nothing else is gonna be. Just double check, just to be sure. Maybe it means he's pushing it. Aim. Yeah, it looks like you just point out the ground. Lady, this is already wrong.
Objection!
Change in the date and the time of the crime has caused new inconsistency to surface. What's this? Og, you are making that irritating face again. Cease that at once. Sorry, but this is the face I was born with. I was born this smug. Now let's focus on what's important. What the victim saw in his final moments. You have bats in the belfry of Barbed Head? There's nothing to see. The ground is at the plaza. The ground at the plaza was all that entered the victim's eyes. You who needs to get your eyes checked. And that's what I find so strange. On the day before the rite, it should have been impossible to see that pattern on the ground. Possible, do you say? To explain. This evidence shows why the plaza's ground was not visible that day. This is good, they don't make us point out the specific page. A lot of older games did that with multi-page documents. This newspaper has an article that is a tiny size but a huge importance. It says that the ground was covered with thick white ice the day before the rite. What? But the victim did not see so much as an ice cube on the ground. Exactly. And so we must ask, what was the victim looking at in his final moments? If you have something to say, then say it. The last thing the victim saw was not the ground at the Plaza of Devotion. This can only mean that he was killed elsewhere. What? 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 Excuse me. Where do you propose the victim was actually killed? Yes, tell us where. Otherwise, your argument is worthless. About that. Harg, I hadn't gotten to that part yet. Any ideas, Maya? Well, let me think. Well, it's somewhere green and shaggy, right? Right, but where could that be? What is it, Barbed Head? Giving up already? Not at all. And where am I seeing something green and shaggy? This shows where the victim was killed. Boop. Here you go. The real scene of the crime. The secret hideout the rebels were using. The rebel hideout? So we know this vision shows that it was heavy. It was upright when he was leaning it, so he was pushing it. But what was it again? It has to be against something, because obviously we know it tips over very easily. So he shouldn't have been straining himself. So what was it against? Maybe like it had to be against, I guess, the little turn wheel thing here. Maybe implies why he got stabbed. I don't know though. It's like I don't have anything to prove that. I don't know why it would be over there. I don't know how it got back over here. So many questions. So just keep moving. There's no such place anywhere on the floor of that chamber. You're absolutely right. There's no place. On the floor, anyway. Then what did the victim see in his final moments, if not the floor of the rebel hideout? Also, I like how they're just, yeah, the rebel hideout. No, what's this? Hey, you want to explain the rebel hideout? And we're just accepting it. I guess the police know, so they kind of know already. Probably should have informed them. This is what the victim saw in his final moments. There you go. Can I double click? Nope. Sent. The shaggy green surface the victim saw was one of the moss-covered stone slabs. As you can see, there are two distinct hand-shaped impressions in the moss here. I believe the victim was killed while he stood there with his hands pressed against the slab.
Objection.
That does agree with the seance vision. However, one cannot definitely declare they are the one and the same. I concur. There's no proof that the murder occurred in the rebel hideout. Indeed, what evidence do you have of this? I've already shown you the evidence. What do you mean? Please take a look at the second version of the photo I just showed you. You can see the results of the luminol test I performed in the rebel hideout. This is proof positive that someone had been bleeding in front of that stone slab. Is this true? This information has already been provided to the police. Detective Sky, to whom does this blood belong? We thought it was the high priest blood that flowed from from outside. We haven't tested it yet. Wow. You must do so at once. Yes, Your Majesty. Just gonna sit here twiddling our thumbs while they do this. It appears the police have finished testing the blood. Detective Sky, your report, please. Blood found in the rebel hideout belongs to Pure Zalot, just like the defense claims. Detective Sky, do you realize what your blunder has done to me? It's also not Pure Zalot, it's a real name. When this trial concludes, I want to see you in my prayer chamber. There I will deliver a joyous sermon onto you for 8 hours straight. I'm really sorry, but please, anything but that. Nick, maybe, just maybe, this is the chance we've been waiting for. Yep, it would seem so. Hate to do this, Emma, but go for it. It's full speed ahead. Knock her out, Phoenix. The victim was killed in the rebel hideout the day before the purification rite. Then his body was moved to the Plaza of Devotion by someone we've yet to identify. So when we thought we saw Acolyte Zalot praying during the rite, he was already dead. Ag! You guys seriously need to figure this stuff out. You can't be praying near dead bodies all the time. And that's not all. If he was killed at the Inner Sanctum, that would explain one more thing. And that would be how the time of death was made to look later than it actually was. The proof of which was left behind at the Sanctum. This points out that how the time of death was made to appear later than it actually was. Ooh. The weather, right? Wait, so how the time of death was made to appear later than it actually was. I think I'm like being overly cautious, but it's the weather again. It's just a little weird because we already pointed that out, but bam. Nope. Never mind. Conflicted estimated time of death. Why not? Oh my god. Then let's test this idea on your body. Pass? Wright's body may still be alive, but he appears very much brain dead. Yarg, I blew that one. None of them attempted to cover up the true time of death. No, I believe someone did. This points to how the time of death was later than it actually was. It's like, yeah, this shows the water was already red. This explains that, but it doesn't clarify how the body, well, or... No, doesn't explain. No, this doesn't cover up the body or time of death. Something in here I'm not noticing? Weird. Yeah, there's nothing in the hideout that points to that. Am I going to have to present the message and then it's going to... Because I can't... Okay, like, this is clearly the best thing, or the weather is. The only thing that's even slightly irrelevant for this is, actually wait. Ooh, actually no, it's the weird snow. Maybe. Yeah, I was wondering what that cutout piece of snow was. Oh, but we don't have evidence of that, do we? Here, this. That's what it is.
Take that.
Why, these are photos of the inner sanctum. I forgot we had that photo. I'd like you to focus on this one. The proof is right here in the photo. In this photo, this is how the time of death was made to appear later than it really was. You see how the snow has been removed from this one spot only? That's because it was used to keep the victim's body cold. That's why the time of death wasn't what it seemed. There we go. Okay, so another mystery down. The time was mistaken, and the place too. And just what do you believe that proves? Well, it proves there's weird foul play. Especially, we can probably, if he was killed actually at noon to 3, then we could probably get an alibi for Maya. And my client is innocent. What of her fingerprints on the dagger? And the Plume Punisher theme the victim heard. You have failed to address these two key pieces of evidence. Come on, Phoenix. It's obvious. Those were planted later. I see your point. Wasn't there a big chance, Nick? Ah, well, I mean, not the Plume Punisher theme. That was playing while that was happening. Really hoping that difference in location can invalidate. I'm really hoping that that difference in location can invalidate either the weapon or the theme song from being used as evidence against you. Actually, that might be possible, at least for one of them. Really? What's this? You say you can contradict an argument for a key piece of evidence? Very well, let us see you try. Take a good look at the rebel hideout photo. Oh. Events can invalidate this piece of evidence. Plume Punisher theme. Plume Punisher theme? And how do you intend to support such a claim? If the murder happened in the rebel hideout, there's something there that played the theme song other than my client's strap. Wasn't the strap? Is this true? Kind of want to turn it up, but I don't want to burn it out. You guys need to be able to hear me too. I finally get the audio levels in a decent place. I don't want to mess with it now. Hopefully you can hear the music decent enough, but it's still not drowning me out or anything. This is a Plume Punisher alarm clock. The victim heard the alarm go off. What proof do you have that the alarm went off?
Objection!
What proof do you have that it was my client's strap that played the theme song? Boom! Assumptions with assumptions. Do not twist the facts with your loyalty wiles. Either way, the accused would still be guilty based off of her prints on the murder weapon. And here's what really happened. He was offering up his prayers. Victim stood with his hands on the stone slab in the hideout. Ooh, it was the afternoon of the day before the rite. Two things. There have been some twists and turns. That is the truth of what happened. Narg. Won't get anywhere until I can eliminate the dagger. Most impressive of your benevolence. To no inconsistencies anywhere in the prosecution's case. No. There's one. What's this? You still claim there to be an inconsistency? Humph. Try as you might, the outcome will always be the same. Okay, stone slab on the hideout. We know that's true. This is the afternoon, the day before the rite. Huh. These two statements have changed, right? We're not contesting this. This is also not, we're not contesting this either. Okay, I'm watching for thighs. So what's getting heavier? Like, I wonder, because I was thinking maybe Plume Punisher theme is getting louder and louder, implying that it's moving, which honestly would be bad for us. Like looking for anything. Plunge your knife in the defenseless victim's neck. Oh, but it's got to be the hideout. Huh. So it's we have to contest the dagger. The dagger is what we're trying to contest. Am I gonna go through these? Do I need like a thing? Lake Twitch 2, and the instant he departed from this world. Defenseless negative. The accused plunged her knife into the defenseless victim's neck. Is there like not room to stand behind here? Kinda isn't. But I don't know if that's good enough. His back. Oh boy. Wait, to his back. To his back. No, I'm assuming they mean, like, they don't mention the neck, but I'm assuming they mean the neck because they're like, oh, there's a wound in his back that caused an injury, but it's, or spinal cord injuries in his lower back, but he's got a knife in his neck, and they're just not gonna like point that out at all. No, we're just gonna assume, yeah, it's in his back of his neck. Huh, this is kind of clear because I don't disagree with any of these statements. Punisher theme. Heavy aim. The stone slab in the hideout. Right, that's what we pointed out. It was the afternoon of the day before the rite. Right, okay, we're not disagreeing with that either. One was there, and the theme, to the Plume Punisher filled the air. And no footsteps or anything, but I don't think that's what they're going for. Use Punisher knife in the defenseless victim's neck. We are specifically, when we came into this, we're specifically asking about the knife. We're trying to point out the knife. I'd argue that there's not enough space to stab him based on what we saw in the court record here. But that's like not guaranteed. It's kind of tight because we know this goes against the wall where the turn thing is. It would be extremely awkward to stab him there, but that's not what they're saying. Plunge your knife into the defenseless victim's neck. It's like these are the two things that have changed. It's gotta be one of these two, right? It was the afternoon, the day before the rite. With his hand on the stone slab in the hideout. Belt when pressed. Oh my god. Oh. Like, we're gonna clarify this, or we're gonna focus on the details. Figure out this is the Steel Samurai song, not the Plume Punisher thing, and they just mistaken it. But like, not now, I don't think. I'm the hideout. Do you think it says it has to be afternoon of the rite? This is also a factual statement, like, there can't be these, but these are the ones that changed. Yeah, it's driving me crazy. What are we even looking for here? Anything specific here? Is it basic, by the way? Okay, the curve going up. How many death window off? Well, I guess it's correct now. Oh boy. Yeah, kind of a lot of loss here. I'm not sure what I'm looking for. No, it has to be. So these are all the statements that have been here for, or these last three statements have been the same since the beginning. Nothing's changed about the vision. It has to be one of these first two statements. So this is completely 100% factual. The victim stood with his hands on the stone slab in the hideout. Stood. Maybe it's a. So I pointed out the heavy thing here before, and how it's odd because he's pushing against it, but he can't push against it because it fall over. So it has to be that. Yeah, let's go with that. So pause when the heavy comes up. Heavy. I don't know what it's leading to.
Objection!
The only thing it could be. Yeah, there we go. The victim was originally thought to have been stabbed while bent over in prayer, but he was actually standing with his hands against the stone slab. The question is, where did the sensation of something heavy come from? Yes, I see your point. Because the victim was standing, he couldn't have been held down. Oof. And tell us, Mr. Wright, what was that heavy sensation felt by the victim? What caused the heavy sensation Zealot fell? Any thoughts, Maya? I agree that the sense of heaviness seems important, but there's also the matter of Zealot's hands on the stone slab. Why were they even there? Could it be related to the cause of the heavy sensation? Well, Mr. Wright, do you have an answer for us? Of course. I just envisioned the state Zealot was in when he was killed. Cause to the heaviness of the victim felt was... Oh, okay, that explains it. The stone slab was falling on him. Yeah, I was wondering how that was gonna play in. I guess I kind of forgot that I pointed out the heavy sensation there, honestly, because it didn't strike me as incorrect at the time. But yeah, I should have pushed that earlier. I never thought about, yeah, the stone might be falling on him. The only conceivable cause of this, the cause is the stone slab falling over, trapping the victim underneath. What? Oh, the stone slab came falling down on him, crushing him underneath. Right, that was the cause of the heavy sensation the victim felt.
Objection!
While your theory is impressive, you have overlooked a key fact. The victim was not crushed to death, rather he was stabbed. Oh yeah. Where you claim the dagger was plunged in after the slab had fallen on him. Yeah, this is weird. Plus he had the killer behind the victim. They would have both been crushed together. Although, no. God. Did they both accidentally die? Maybe he was trapped between the statue, like pushing it on. Ah, man, that's weird. Well, would you care to explain? Sure, I'd love to. That doesn't mean I can. How could the dagger have been plunged in after the slab fell on the victim? The killer couldn't have plunged the dagger into the victim after the slab fell on him. But what if the murder weapon wasn't what we thought it was? That means he would have fallen onto the statue. Well, there were other weapons in the rebel hideout. The entrance to the hideout is right by the stone. Okay, now we're going to connect the statue to the murders. So it is that. So it didn't get crushed because the stone slab fell towards the statue, but like landed on top of it. Whatever. But he was pushed back onto the statue. That rotates around. Priest sees. Yeah, I still don't know how the priest runs into the statue though. The entrance to the hideout is right by the stone slab. Now we can interpret that maybe the priest saw his dead friend's body. Maybe it was his son. I don't know. We don't know his full identity. Like ran in. It still didn't explain how he impaled himself on the statue. Weird. The entrance is by the to the hideout is right by the stone slab. There's enough space between the two to use any of the weapons found within. Oh, but this explains the Lady Kira thing though. Because I was explaining what the wife's connection to all this was. Oh, but I just explained the warning letter. Because the wife could not be Lady Kira. She could have been just another rebel. And what happened is they are using the Lady Kira as cover to hide the fact, or hide the hideout, hide the well, wouldn't hide the rebel though. But it would just be the wife covering out the bodies, not necessarily that she murdered them as Lady Kira. Doesn't explain the warning though. Oh well. No, because the guy had the warning before the whole events happened too. Oh wait, no, because the wife could have written that to keep the high priest away from the performing the rite and finding the body, maybe. Ooh, something along those lines. All right, well, not predicting. Let's just get on with it. There's enough space between the two to use any of the weapons found within. Yeah, there's not much space by the entrance, is there? So what was the real murder weapon then? I better think of something. A statue. We've been saying this since like since I first saw that statue. The murder weapon was the dagger. Then the dagger must have been plunged into the victim after he was already dead. Oh man. That means the wife would have tried to blame Maya the murders. I thought she was staying in her house. That's cold, man. That means he was stabbed at least twice, but the autopsy doesn't mention that. He must have been stabbed in the same spot with something shaped like the dagger. That's really convenient that it cut him the exact same way. Would the defense care to offer an explanation of sometime this century? Yeah. Wait, wasn't there something dagger-like near the scene of the crime? I mean, yeah, not in this photo. Here you go. Something that had a shape similar to the Warbad dagger? Still don't know, like, the inciting incident for all this, though. Like, okay, maybe they accidentally died, but how? Why? Like, were they just incompetent? There's, like, no way that's the case. Present your evidence at this time, Mr. Wright. This shows what really killed the victim. Do we want to do this or this? Because, you know, I think we're definitely pointing out the statue now. I guess it's this. I'm so confident. Gonna save. Just in case. Okay. This one. Yeah. Yeah, this one. Specifically this one right here. Present. Man, they're two body. Oh, is this not the photo from the scene of the high priest murder? Although now it explains why there's a cloak on the statue in the first place, because it was there to hide the blood. Okay, so it's all coming together now. Are you suggesting the murder weapon is hidden herein? This is what really took Praise a lot's life. Over here, Judge. Take it. But that is the Warbad statue. Exactly. The Warbad statue has a dagger-like feathers protruding from it. That is what really took the victim's life.
Objection.
You imbecilic fool! The statue is outside the hideout. How do you propose it impaled someone who was inside? Do you not know? Haven't you heard? The Warbad statue also functions as the hideout's door. What do you mean? Wow, you're not doing your research, buddy. The police knew about this. You should know about it. The statue can pull a complete switcheroo. A switcheroo? Put it simply, is a revolving door. Look at it go! A revolving door. Why, that makes perfect sense. Does it, Judge? I'm surprised you're saying that. Therefore, I believe the truth behind the divination seance to be this. As the victim entered the secret hideout, the stone sculpture came toppling toward him. It's like it's lining up to be just kind of a freak accident, and the wife trying to cover up No, she had to. Well, no, she has to expose them as rebels. She's not hiding the rebel identity. Maybe she's trying to hide the hideout from us. It's still a little unclear, but I think I've got all the pieces now. He threw up his hands to stop it, but its weight forced him backwards. Fortunately, the Warbat statue was right behind him. Like the Prometheus school. What's the quote? The Prometheus school of running away from things. You should have just ducked to the side, dude. Or if you ducked straight down, because it probably didn't land on him. It landed on the statue. Fortunately, the Warbat statue was right behind him. So he got pushed and pushed. Stab. This cannot be. Still weird that the slab didn't injure him in any way, because it still needed to fall towards him. The accused fingerprints were found on the dagger. She had held it while rehearsing for the rite, which is when her prints got on it. Oh, maybe she unintentionally did it then. Unintentionally framed Mina. Gah! This is a shocking turn of events. She had to know that though, right? Yeah, she might have forgotten the prints. She might not have even known about it. Just assume Lady Kira, that everyone made, or just try to put the blame on Lady Kira. Ooh. Maybe she's trying to eliminate Lady Kira by trying to frame her, but they framed Maya by accident instead. That makes more sense. That still doesn't explain the inciting incident for all of this. This is a shocking turn of events, but there's a great deal of circumstantial evidence in the defense's favor. I believe we must accept that the Warbat statue was what killed the victim. Statue added to the court record. Now that we know that Alcoholic Zealot met his demise, I'm a little shocked I didn't think of this stuff earlier. But once we got going, it started all falling into place. There's no basis for claiming my client committed this crime. Nice work, Nick. How can this be happening yet again? The divination seance is the only truth. No, your benevolence. It's not the truth itself, but it is a means for shedding light on the truth. Good day. You understand now? Your kingdom needs lawyers so they can interpret your insights. What? That means I have been misrepresenting. Oh my god, misinterpreting the voices of the spirits all this time. Your benevolence. Are you unwell? I hope they weren't letting a child. Like, how long has she been doing this? She's only 14, so hopefully she hasn't been doing this very long at all. Because I would not trust a child to interpret this stuff. All the color is drained from your face. I will be fine. Continue your proceedings without me. As you wish. I feel kind of bad for her. Now then, I would have the defense continue. Please explain what you learned now that we know how the victim actually died. Alcoholic Zealot was killed in the hideout before the High Priest's murder. It means the body found at the Plaza of Devotion was moved there by the real killer. But only after the Warbat dagger was thrust into him. To make it look like the murder weapon. That does seem to agree with what we now know. Yeah, it's really the stone tablet falling on the guy that really put everything together. Because I thought up until now, I thought, well, okay, besides the High Priest vision, we know he kind of accidentally died. Or at least I thought that. But I thought, no, oh my god, Zealot had to be murdered, which really hides the intentions. But if he's accidentally died, then it opens up so many possibilities. So that was the key, I guess, for figuring it all out. Why would the real killer go to such lengths? Please stabbing Acolyte Zealot body with the dagger and moving it to the plaza was... I mean, to make it look like a serial murder. It was an attempt to make my client look like a serial killer. That's right. The real killer planned all of this. This forged a serial murder case. They forged a serial murder case. That's it, Nick. Keep hammering away. Oh boy, he's gonna go off. Let me give it a second. I'm gonna assume the loading glitch happened again. Yeah, there it is. Weird how some parts can be delayed like that. Your reasoning has more holes in it than that cheese you foreigners so enjoy. What? Look like those putrid hole-ridden clumps of curds that only a rat like you could have loved. Your reasoning, much like your putrid hole-ridden brain, has putrefied. The foolish fool who dares foolishly question my foolish testimony. Fool is a way better thing to say repeatedly than putrid. This is a deal with things going putrid. You've yet to overturn my argument that the accused is the killer. Careful analysis of the chain of events up to the killing exposes the truth as follows. Disguised as Lady Kira, the accused found the rebel hideout the day before the riot. But Acolyte Zella had followed her there after noticing her suspicious behavior. Not by surprise, she pushed the stone slab toward him, and we know the rest. I've never been to the rebel hideout in my life. When the high priest arrived at the sanctum the next day, he realized what she had done. That is when the accused murdered him in order to silence him. The prosecutor Sadamati has opposed a compelling scenario. The defense, on the other hand, has yet to disprove the accused's guilt.
Objection!
We're working on that, Judge. Why would my client move Acolyte Zealot's body to where everyone can see it? And why would she stab the dagger with her fingerprints into his dead body? She had no reason to do any of those things, especially since it only set her up, like, it made her killings more obvious, technically. The timing of the deaths made it line up when she killed the other guy. The dagger in his corpse was likely a warning to the rebels, but also, you know, exposes her. Something along the lines of, Lady Kira will slay the defiant dragons. That is why she moved the body to the plaza for all to see, and putting in a praying zone pose, and hid the dagger under clothes. Because remember, it was stuck in there the entire time. Now is the judge convinced too? Thought I'd finally made some headway. Well, Mr. Wright, about time for one of your groans of distress, is it not? Groan of distress? Kills me to admit this, but I've got nothing to counter his argument with. I still haven't disproven the allegations against Maya. Is it not time to end your futile struggle? You were already judged guilty yesterday. That makes you a dead lawyer walking. Accept the death that now awaits you, and in doing so, finally know peace. A dead lawyer walking, indeed. Then again, are not all lawyers who practice in Korean? But I must admit, I misspoke earlier. Allow me to amend my statement. It said the defense's reasoning had a putrid cheese-like smell. And I realized the stench was from his own putrid body on the verge of death. Thanks. Now I'm a rotting zombie. Think, who could have killed Zealot the day before the riot? Who knew about the rebel hideout and who'd gain access to the inner sanctum? Only those involved with the riot can enter the sanctum, so... Wait a second. Only a rebel would have known about the secret hideout, and only the person who was involved with the riot had access to the sanctum. Was suspected of being a rebel, and was suspected of being a rebel is... Oh, wait! The high priest kill him? Or attempt to kill him? What's going on? Did somebody come to mind? Except there's one huge problem. What are you two going on about? Plotting your escape from the sacred hall? No, it couldn't have been the high priest. I would not put it past you, considering you have no means to raise further objection. If I don't do something, Prosecutor Sadamati will have this one in the bag. I'm set to bluff my way out of this, regardless of that huge problem. Your Majesty, I believe there is another suspect in Pure Zealot's murder.
Objection.
The most benevolent Holy Mother would not forgive such a desperate lie. After all, you know very well that such a person does not exist. You're fingering the priest right now. No, there's one person who knew everything. Such a fear truly exists. Tell us who might that be. The prime suspect in Acolyte Zealot's murder is... I want to say it's her. He usually plays the part of Lady Grim. The problem is there's no suspicion of her being a rebel, right? From the way Phoenix spelled it out, it's only suspected of being a rebel and having access to the right. She typically has access to the right, but she's not currently suspected of being a rebel. Ooh. You know, I want to say her, but it's possible because the timeline, he was alive when the first guy died, so it's not impossible. We're just gonna bluff this, I guess.
Take that.
It had to be someone allowed to enter the sanctum and who knew of the hideout. And that would be the High Priest. He could have committed the crime if it occurred the day before the rite. You would pin a crime upon the dead, knowing very well that he'd tell no tales. Have you no shame? No, I don't. Dead men tell no tales. That is definitely a problem. Only the High Priest could tell his side of the story. What? Do I have something on my face? Yeah, it'd be really convenient if you could do that. Wait a second. Could this actually work? Are we gonna do it? Oh no, don't tell me I have some of my breakfast caught between my teeth. No, if there's even the slightest possibility, I'll have to go with it. Your Majesty? Dead men do tell tales. Therefore, I would like to request the High Priest's testimony. Oh my god. We're doing it. His testimony. And just how do you propose we get the deceased to testify? We're just gonna blow the lid off this, huh? There's a way for the dead to testify. It's known as channeling. Summon him here by the means of spirit channeling. What did you just say? Spirit channeling? Has this lawyer finally gone insane? This is sacrilege. May the Holy Mother strike him down. Yeah, we're just gonna upset the balance and just like, we're gonna blow the lid off this kingdom by having Maya spirit channel. Queen ain't so special after this. Peace. I am frankly astonished you even know of such a thing. But spirit channeling is a secret art that only Her Eminence Queen Garan can perform. Well, bring her down here. Her Eminence is far too busy with other duties to perform it at our pleasure. Fine. I suspected as much. That means our only hope is... let's do it. Okay, Nick. You can tell them. But Maya... Phoenix, you brought it up. That you wanted to keep it a secret here in Kuren. Don't worry. It's not like it's against the law or violates some religious precepts, so... I don't think we'll be punished. At least, I hope not. This is a crucial period for you. It'll decide whether you become master of the Kuren. We don't have any other choice now, do we? If I'm found guilty, I'll be a lot worse than not becoming master of Kuren. Alright, thanks Maya. Actually, there is someone here who's capable of channeling spirits. But even our benevolence Princess Raifa finds the divination seance to be a challenge. Who could possibly have greater spiritual power than she, aside from the queen? That would be me. Hello. Is this some sort of joke? A foreigner cannot possibly have such power. The royal priestess isn't capable of such a feat. Peace, peace, I say. Is this true? Is the accused capable of performing the secret art of spirit channeling? Well, yes. Yes, I can. Now, Your Majesty, we'd like your permission to begin. Ooh. What's your problem now? Your benevolence. This is an outrage, I say. First you make a mockery of the divination seance, and now spirit channeling? Benevolence speaks truth. The spirit channeling is a sacred rite. Foreign devils, I should say. Oh my god, they put them to the death penalty. Still your voices. Barbed head, spirit channeling is a most sacred and secret of arts. Are you prepared to face the consequences of what you propose? What are the consequences? Yes, I am. Oh, well, whatever. Consequences be damned. Your benevolence, are you saying you approve of their use of spirit channeling? I will judge whether their claim is true. This is but another of their lies. They shall be executed on the spot. Well, very well then. Your benevolence? What if the accused accidentally calls forth an evil spirit? Do you truly believe this foreigner is capable of channeling spirits? Oh, no, but I wanted to be sure as I am responsible for the safety of all present. Well, an inexperienced practitioner could inadvertently call forth a dangerous spirit. Do not fear, for I have a magatama of parting. Ooh. Was there a thing here? I think this was the thing. I remember there's the technique that may or may not be real from the second Ace Attorney game, like spirit severing technique. Forget if this is a thing in Ace Attorney 3 or something. I don't think it is. With it, I can send spirits back to the Twilight Realm by halting the flow of spiritual power. That is a relief indeed. These foreigners have thrown down the gauntlet. Let's not shirk from the challenge. We must prove them guilty and deliver their last rites. Do I make myself clear, Prosecutor Sadamati? Perfectly, Your Benevolence. Very well, the accused may channel the High Priest spirit. First, we must take a short recess to prepare. We'll resume as soon as the preparations are complete. Till then, this court is adjourned. Nice. You love me some break time. Oh, wow. A to be continued. That was not very long. What was that? The time? Oh my god, it's been almost 2 hours. Never mind, I take that back. I thought it's been like 30-40 minutes. Shows were... I guess it's been good so far. Let's keep going. High Court of Kurenin-Kaku's lobby. There you go. Sorry, Maya, but this was the only way. Sure you're up for this? Thanks for believing me, Nick. Don't have any respect for these people. Spit on them any chance you get. Even though I don't know my channel, if my channeling ability is on point yet. Oh, right. Before she started training here, her success rate was only about 30%. I know you can do it, Maya. At least I hope she can. So sure you're ready? Have you channeled anyone that wasn't... No, I mean, you've channeled Dahlia, technically, and Mia. Channeled a male person before? It's gonna be a little weird. I feel like they're not gonna do the full body transformation if that's the case. Now we'll see. So you sure you're ready? Yeah, at least I think so. You don't sound so confident. What about all your training? Training's one thing, actually doing it is another. Oh, I see. Uh-oh. If he fails to channel the High Priest, we're as good as dead. Relax, Nick, you can count on me. See what my training's done for me. This will be a moment you never forget. Okay. Let's hope it's unforgettable in a good way. Once we read Abbott's enemy's story, I'm sure the truth will come to light. I hope so, but he was hiding the fact that he was a rebel, so... Yeah, I don't think he's going to be too cooperative. He's going to dance around for a bit, I think. But that'll be as cut as dry as that. They're ready for you. Please return to the Hall of Justice at once. Okay, Maya, I'm counting on you. You got it. Here we go. May 12th. High Court of Kurenin. There we go. Get a better typist, man. Hope that person's not doing... What's it called? What's the record in a courtroom called? I forget. Stenographer? Oops. Read that. We've received official approval for the accused to channel the spirit here today. Wow. Okay. Now, if you will, Miss Faye, please proceed. And realize, how do they have a system in place for performing spirit channel or getting approval to do spirit channelings if the queen's the only one supposed to be able to do it? She's the queen. She can do whatever she wants. Whatever. Yes, your majesty. I can't believe this. Only the queen should channel spirits. Execute them. Put them to death right now. God. I guess the implication there is that other people can do it, but only the queen should be allowed to do it. Come on, Maya. I'm counting on you. I've been studying here in Kurenin for 2 years now. So that one day I meet the master of Kurenin, a village of spirit mediums back home. You know, when I see this, it makes me think, am I being wrong in pronouncing this Kurenin? But it's like, I gotta differentiate them otherwise. I'm just saying Crane for both of them otherwise, so I'll just keep saying it the way I'm saying it. But first I shall show you all the fruits of my training in your kingdom. Wow, she seems really confident. Humph. Neophyte practitioners such as you cannot possibly channel a spirit. Hey, your benevolence, how about this? If I succeed, will you stop calling me a neophyte? Very well, if you succeed. Oh, I will. Just you watch. Hey, back it up this time, Maya. O spirit of Tarrust in me, slumbering in the Twilight Realm. Oh, return now to the world of the living. Going by itself. Oh no, they did it. Congrats, Capcom. I didn't think you had the balls to do it, but you did it. Hmm? What is this place? Oh my. No, this cannot be. Okunkua. Okunka. It's the High Priest. The Q's really can channel spirits. I don't believe it. The Q's spiritual power is the real deal. Go Maya. I do not understand. This cannot be. Simply cannot be. I must step out now before I forget myself. How about in me? Will this be the Twilight Realm? No, dude. In fact, actually, does this mean doesn't this kind of disprove? I guess they just go back and forth between the Twilight Realm. If he doesn't recognize it though, his soul should be there. Like, you know, he's passed on to the, heaven, Twilight Realm, whatever you want to call it. He should be, you know, existing out there. He should know that it is or not. This is kind of reinforcing that, no, it's just the void of death. If he's not clear about it. And, if someone gets sent to hell, can we channel a spirit? And, oh, man, I don't know. Spirit channeling seems to break the religion a bit to me, but whatever. And what of this? This luxurious mane of hair is perhaps a gift from the Holy Mother for her decades of faithful service? How about in me? My, but if it isn't His Majesty, have you two shuffled off that mortal coil? Please do not count me among the dead. It is only you who has passed on. The spirit medium Maya Fey has brought you back among us today. Well, why? Acolyte Fey has mastered the secret art of spirit channeling? Suppose that explains these gorgeous locks. When I pass from this world, I too hope to be channeled with full head of hair. Wow. Though it be for the briefest of moments. So be it, I give thanks to the splendid Quafer. I heard that word. Praise be to the Holy Mother. Thank Maya, not the Holy Mother. However, this kimono is a bit too snug for my taste. If you would excuse me. Oh my god. Oh, hey. There, that is better. You just gotta be sure to remember to put that back on before we stop channeling you. Otherwise, we're gonna be in for some problems. We get his testimony now? I wish he kept his top on. Why? You are that foreign lawyer that people speak of as of late. And is this not the Hall of Justice? Why have you been summoned here? Forgive us for calling you back from your eternal rest. But you have been accused of murder. Might we ask you to testify of your own on your own behalf? Oh my god, dude. I've been accused of murder? That is troubling indeed. Can you just stand there like a normal person? What's that crazy pose? This really cause for such astonishment? Even the lowliest of monks can achieve a body control with the proper training. Oh, I wonder if Albie will be able to do that someday. Will the defense please explain the situation to the High Priest? I'd be happy to, yeah. Not reacting much. He kind of should... If he's directly responsible for murdering Zealots, or he knows Zealot's dead, he should kind of know why he's here. I would think, anyway. Disciple Pure Zealot has been murdered. Happened the day before the purification rite. The crime occurred in the rebel hideout hidden within the inner sanctum. Acolyte Zealot, he has been killed? Who would do such a thing? You. Someone who knew of the hideout and had access to the inner sanctum. In other words, you, Abba, and me. After all, weren't you secretly a rebel? Oh dear. Oh! Okay. So I briefly considered this at some point, but there's maybe... It's possible that his wife is the rebel, he's ignorant of it. It still doesn't explain exactly what went down. You should remember those last moments. That's what I want to testify the most of all, is what happened right before he died. That's possible, but he's lying. It can go a different number of different ways. Oh dear. It's still Maya's body. I hope he doesn't break anything. Wow, the High Priest is amazing. I think he had mastered such an advanced prayer pose. Still worthy of our veneration, even if he is rebel. Praise be the Holy Mother, praise be the Holy Mother. Yeah, oh my, have my rebel allegiance been exposed? Okay, no. Not even my wife knew of that. It seems that to rest in peace is not my fate. Why did you, a devout priest of Kuranism, join the rebellion?
Objection.
The High Priest has come back for us from but a brief time defense. Also, him saying his wife might not or didn't know of that could also be covered, so it's not confirmed, but we'll just roll with it for now. Shall we not cut to the chase and ask the most pressing of questions? Oh, right. About enemy, the prosecution believes the one who slew both you and Acolyte Zealot to be Maya Fey, who had been playing the role of Lady Kira in the right. Being that I was dead until just a moment ago, the memory's a bit hazy. Could you please do your best to remember?
Objection.
The High Priest says his memory's hazy. It is all coming back to me. As Prosecutor Satomati concluded, I was slain by none other than Maya Fey. Alright, buddy. High Priest's statement has proven my assertions with regards to his murder correct. No! But what about Acolyte Zealot? You were the one who killed him, weren't you? I know not about my disciple's murder. Furthermore, I have the alibi of my own. An alibi? Seriously? How do you have an alibi? We didn't tell you when he died, just the day before the murder. Seems the testimony the defense has been hoping for is working against him. Now I have an enemy. Your testimony, if you please. The dude said an alibi. He had an alibi before he told him exactly when it happened. Pretty sus. Yes, of course. Witness testimony. I have an alibi. I have an ironclad alibi for the time during which the murder took place. Yeah, this is so weird. Just past noon on the day before the rite, I was entertaining guests at my house, our home. And I believe my guests can corroborate this. Corroborate. There you go. You had guests? Just past noon. That's right about the time the Zealot was murdered. Like, we didn't say, we just told him he was murdered the day before it was murdered the day before the rite. We didn't say it was past noon or around noon. I don't know if we're gonna catch him on that though. Are you sure about that? We'll see where this testimony goes. It might. Absolutely. Come to think of it, Rayfod told me about a spirit's memory. Spirit's memory is cut off at the moment of death. Even a spirit that is brought back after centuries doesn't sense any gap in time. Oh, I guess this is their excuse for it. Between the moment of death and the moment it is channeled. Yes, yet it clearly recalls all of the memories it had in life. Alright, that's their convenient excuse as to why there's no, or they don't remember an afterlife. High Priest seems to know exactly what he's talking about. So the question is, what would be best angle of attack? Yeah, how are we gonna do this? I'm just gonna have to press him for now, I guess. As we always do, even if we had the evidence. Ironclad alibi for the time during which the murder took place.
Hold it!
You sure about that? You use the word alibi as if it were second nature. Are you perhaps mocking me? Or is it perhaps the kingdom of Kura and that itself you wish to ridicule? Come on, everyone, and their grandma knows what alibi means. We're not a bunch of country bumpkins here. We have plenty of courtroom dramas on TV. Peace, 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 I say. Mr. Wright, would you care to clarify your last statement? Please, don't take it the wrong way. Just an alibi is a rather technical term for a priest to use so naturally. I assure you I know how to use the term. In fact, I had even hoped for a chance to do so one day. I suppose that even I, a high priest, am not immune to such trivial worldly attachments. Oh, I see. Still, he seems unusually calm and composed. I mean, dude's dead. What does he got to worry about? You know, you're kind of inhibition, worry-free at that point. But that's not the excuse. It's almost as if he had prepped himself for something like this. Although that's wild. Maybe he did know about Maya's spirit channeling and like predicted this somehow? That'd be weird. Oh god, actually. So I've been thinking about, like, it really looks like he ran into the statue to his death, and I haven't been able to explain why. There's like no way he did it intentionally, right? Like to throw off the divination seance. He like killed himself for some reason. Again, we don't know exactly why, but that's what this line's like kind of implying. That'd be insane. Although it would explain some unnatural things, like why he turned while he was holding the scripture in front of his face. Why he acted the way he did, even though it was a motionless statue. That's very interesting. I mean, we'll see if it's true or not. Just past noon on the day before the rite, I was entertaining guests at my home.
Hold it!
Yeah, I'm glad that this got into a point where I can't see who, like, there's no clear things. Like, it's, I didn't think it could be the high priest before, but now there's, like, some evidence that it could be the high priest as, like, the mastermind behind this. His wife was assisting him. Like, the wife hasn't come into this, though. And, like, from a game design perspective, we have to get to interviewing her at some point. We're not going to go back to the high priest, so we can't have his breakdown. But it's still going to be the wife, just from, like, a metagamey way of looking at it. Unless the wife actually is just a red herring. Which I guess isn't impossible. There's no way. No way! They have all that stuff with the Punisher. Whatever, let's just go on. Yes. And you were entertaining them personally? That I was. We gathered around the table for our most enjoyable conversation. He said his guest could corroborate his state alibi. It can't be good for our case. Are you sure that was the same day as the murder? Maybe you've misremembered. Do not disturb my mnemonic faculties. What's he doing there? That noise, that sounds like... It sounds... Oh man, I don't know why it's making me think of this. Back in Mega Man Legends, when you... I think hit a enemy that was immune to your blaster, it made a noise like this, except it's really slowed down. I don't think anyone watching is gonna get that, so like that's such low odds that people know what I'm talking about. I may have died, but my memories up to that point are crystal clear. I think there's a weapon that makes that noise too. Sorry, he's pretty thin-skinned for a priest. Though I guess I should have known better than to doubt his memory. Spirit's memory is cut off in the moment of death. Even a spirit that is brought back after centuries doesn't sense any gap in time. In the moment of its death and the moment of it's channeled. Yes, and yet it clearly recalls all of the memories it had in life. Oh, but I guess we could be arguing that he died. No, it's so weird. If he died like, oh, a day before or something. Ah, there's nothing better than enjoying a Ingil cuisine with dear friends. That way everyone's breath becomes equally malodorous. Right. Yeah, we have some strings connected behind the scenes with evidence, but not a complete picture. And I believe my guests can corroborate this. Who are your guests? Corroborate. I don't know why I have such trouble saying it. And who exactly are your guests that day? Who or were your guests that day? Don't tell me they were rebels, so they can't be called here to testify. It was none other than his majesty along with his family. He couldn't attend the rite due to work, so he stopped by ahead of time. Thought you guys all did this. I was talking to the streets, the blessing and customary to take the Oh, was this way earlier? I guess it wasn't from that. No, it was from that one because that's when she switched. He's either lying or something else here. But it's in the right dude's work, so he stopped by ahead of time. Or maybe that was a long time ago. I guess I don't know. My, how his daughter has grown. Wait a second. Let me set the record straight right now. I am not a rebel. Thank you for that wonderful meal, Abbott and me. Lady Emi's cooking simply cannot be beat. So there you have it. When exactly was His Majesty at your home? He was there from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Indeed, precisely the time, the period with which Acolyte Zealot was slain. Yes, and we had a rousing chat concerning the game of Kachu Damala, or Damal. But I'll just have that added to the testimony. After all, it was I who visited the High Priest's home. Is he lying about the meeting here? The guests that day were His Majesty and his family. They visited from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. No, it's not that. It's what I just pointed out. Good game. Why tell an obvious lie if that's the case? Not that one. Day before the right. This one.
Objection!
Wait, no? Something the matter? Sorry, that screen just sort of slipped out. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself, I guess. I don't know about trials in your country, but we refrain from such a rash outbursts here. Perhaps this will deter any future urges you might have. Maybe I have to press it first. I'm not helping my case in the judge's eyes, both literally and figuratively. Yeah, let's press that first. Whoops. Your Majesty, are you sure this testimony is completely accurate? Sure can be. How wonderful it is to finally have my actions be admissible as evidence in court. The Majesty was at my home during the exact time period of the murder. Come, let us put this behind us. I could not have possibly committed this crime. Although, yeah, the Zealot's in there, so that kind of messes everything up too. I can't be so sure. What if the clock or watch you were using was off, or you misread the time? There was a clock right near the table and it had the exact time as my watch. Now do you understand, lawyer? Okay. Oh no, just press everything. As you can see, my alibi is airtight. Or do you still think I could have killed Acolyte Zealot? Arg. Majesty is a witness? Are you satisfied now? There's not a single discrepancy in Abbott and me's alibi. Yeah, when was this photo taken if it wasn't... Because I knew it was weird that that guy smelled... Zealot smelled Ghibli or whatever it's called. Gingil in his memory, even though it's doing the right. But I thought it was... Maybe he met with us, left to the rebel hideout before, you know, it was 3 p.m. or something along those lines. Oh, but I guess I don't know. I guess this is from a different event. Let's figure it out. Well, maybe it'll change. Give up now, it's all over. Now hold on a second. Is there anything wrong with the High Priest's testimony? There is. There is a discrepancy in the High Priest's testimony. There is? Well, then perhaps you could explain what it might be. This is what's wrong in his testimony. He knew the time of the crime, yeah. This is what I pointed out originally. After Abbott and me was channeled, no one ever stated what time Acolyte Zealot was murdered. Now that you mention it, despite that, you claim to have an alibi from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. That means you knew the Acolyte Zealot was dead when you were still alive. Ugh. Oh, wow. Wait, I think I saw something just now. No, I must be imagining things. Yeah, we're just gonna let it go. So tell me, how did you know what time the crime had been committed? About that. Open your heart. Let the Holy Mother in. Why? We've been blessed with the High Priest's sacred words of prayer. All who serve her holiness must strive to be banished worldly desires from their soul. Open your heart. Let the Holy Mother in. Purge your mind of greed. Oh my god. I feel as if my very soul has been cleansed. He's a rebel, Judge. Did you forget that? You can't fool me. Prayer may banish worldly desires, but it can't make a contradiction disappear. All right, what do you gotta say? How can you be so sure? What's that supposed to mean? The lawyer seems to think little of the power of Kurin's prayer. Huh? Done. I bet Amy was at home during the crime, but knew of what happened at the hideout. I believe this can be explained thusly. Oh, let me hear this. He must have had a way to monitor the hideout from his home. You have any evidence of this? What? You never cease to amaze, prosecutor. As he has summarized, there was a listening device installed. Oh, actually, that is true. We did find that microphone. That's not entirely incorrect. It enabled me to instantly learn of anything unusual, even when I was not there. It was just weird. We found a microphone, but just didn't think of anything of it. Didn't put it in the court record. Who cares? Remember, the rebels had been using this as a top secret hideout. It would be perfectly natural for them to install such apparatus. Wait, come to think of it, when I was searching that rebel hideout, there's something under the banner. Microphone? What's this doing here? Someone trying to record something with it? Can't believe you threw that to the side, Phoenix. That was a listening device. It starts recording whenever it detects movement. I heard just, oh my god. That means that can shift where he was hearing the Plume Punisher songs from too. But anyway, that's something else. And I heard just as a recording after His Majesty and his family left. Can we get that device? If you look in the desk in my study, you will find the tape in question. Nice. All right then, bailiff, get that stuff. Yes, Your Majesty. Go retrieve the tape in question from the High Priest's home. At once, Your Majesty. It better not disappear. Your wife better not have hid it. Power of Kurin's prayer. Even a putrid brain such as yours should understand it now. Like the contradiction really did vanish. Shall ascertain the content of the recording once we have the tape. In the meantime, I would ask Abbot Inmi to continue with his testimony. Sure, I guess. I'm gonna speak on now. Very well. I mean, I'd like to hear your last moments, if you could. Because we just did his alibi. I heard everything. Oh. I was entertaining His Majesty and his family when the crime occurred. When I listened to the tape later, I heard a man and a woman quarreling. Sounded like an altercation between Acolyte Zealot and Acolyte Faye. After that, there was a loud noise followed by a haunting silence. Okay, there's our in if he's partially telling the truth. That he heard his wife and the Zealot. I have to find some way to attack his alibi. Only Maya were here. She has a way of putting me at ease. Oh, right, I guess we can't get hits from her. Oh, well, Phoenix can imagine hints to himself. But seeing her like this is only creeping me out. Yeah, really. I didn't think they'd go through with it, but they did. Though the High Priest was a rebel, he was still a Kurinist holy man. Therefore, take care in your questioning, lest you invoke the ire of our people. How dare you suspect the High Priest? May the Holy Mother strike him blind. As if this wasn't hard enough already. Nice try, but I'll stop at nothing to find the truth. I was hoping we'd get the tape in between. I heard everything. Entertaining His Majesty and his family when the crime occurred. Right? What were you doing? You were entertaining His Majesty and his family during the crime? Indeed, my wife, I believe, was treating them to her wonderful home cooking. Your wife was there that day? Why, yes, she was in the kitchen cooking up a storm the entire time. Come to think of it, I don't think I saw her at all that day. There we go. She takes her culinary duties most seriously, you see. That is why she's in the kitchen cooking without pause the entire day. So the judge never saw Mrs. Inmi. Did I have Abba add that statement to his testimony? We should, but we're gonna leave it alone for now. Let's go over the rest of his testimony first. Mr. Emmy has anything to do with this case. Oh, Phoenix. Oh, Phoenix. You should know better. Please continue with your testimony, Abba Emmy. I want to see if I can add the rest of the statements to the thing too. His testimony. Oh, after his Majesty left, something along those lines. Yes. After his Majesty's law, I listened to the tape recorded via the listening device. When I listened to the tape later, I heard a man and woman quarreling.
Hold it!
You heard everything from a recording? Indeed. Each night, I would secretly check what the listening device had recorded. I would have been in serious trouble with my lovely wife had she discovered my secret. Can you really tell what happened by the audio alone? Long years of aesthetic training have sharpened my hearing. It is a simple matter for me to ascertain the situation by the sounds I hear. Practicing currentism improves your hearing? Hearing is but one of the senses it can improve. One focuses and attain inner peace, all 5 senses can be sharpened. Okay, thank you for the spiel. Why, the warbat over in the bazaar just cried. Did you not hear it? Give me a break. Okay, no, looks like only the first statement. It sounded like a altercation between Acolyte Zealot and Acolyte Faye. Why do you think it was them? Hold on. Are you sure about those voices? Was it really Acolyte Zealot and Miss Faye? I'd say that was the most reasonable conclusion under the circumstances. Or perhaps Acolyte Faye has an alibi that you can prove. I'm afraid not. Then I suggest you make like a mollusk and clam up. Now I would continue my testimony if I may. After that, there was a loud noise followed by a haunting silence.
Hold it!
A loud noise? I'd say that's worth looking into. It was a terrible crashing sound. Poor Acolyte Zealot. It must have felt so heavy. Must have been the sound of that stone slab falling over. Can I have him add that statement to his testimony? Yeah, let's do it. Let's see if we can add both of them. Please add that statement to your testimony. As you wish. I would describe the noise as terrible crash. Poor Zealot. It must have felt so heavy. Oops. Oops, did not mean to do that. I wanted to click to move back to the first statement, but I can't do that with the mouse. Magistrate and his family at the time. Then I have proven the soundness of my alibi. I believe it is about time for me to return to the Twilight Realm. Not yet. What's the rush? Why enjoy some more time among the living? I'll find a way to attack his alibi soon. I'll just have to press harder and hope something useful comes out. Yeah, let's see if we can add this one too. No, I hit press. God dang it. Yes.
Hold it!
I should skip through this. I should have just added this initially. I was a little worried because it was the first statement. I wanted to press the rest of it, but I didn't need to. Have him at it. Toss it in there. Please add that statement to your testimony. As you wish. We have both of them. Looks like we have both of them now. What I believe was in the kitchen cooking the entire time. Let's press these new statements. What was your wife making that day? The menu that day featured hatin sa pot pays and molten mott. They're both traditional Koreanese dishes. Can't even imagine what those are. Also, I think these have puns to them too. Hatin surprise and molten hot, I think. Molten mott? Molten hot, kind of. Can't even begin to imagine what those are. Ah, yes. The exquisite zest of hot and surprise and the supreme texture of molten hot. Lady Emmy's cooking that day was utterly unforgettable. Thank you. It brings me great joy to know you enjoyed your meal. Now, once his majesty and his family had left, yada yada yada. Okay, so nothing special. I'm pressing that. We go to this last statement. Press this one. You believe that terrible crash is connected to Acolyte Zealot's death? Yes, the sound no doubt was poor Zealot's death knell. There's a tragedy for he was fine disciple. I would ask all here today, give a prayer for his departed soul. Yushire Matama, or Matami Yoma. Yushire Matami Yoma. Yushire Matami Yoma. I had high hopes for you, for that young man's future. Yushire Mata, oh my god, Yoma. Right, we get it. Why do I feel like such a jerk for just trying to do my job right now? Okay, Mr. Wright, you still feel the need to question the high priest? Nobody's as tight as it can be. This isn't going so well. I'd better ask him about something else. I'm curious about Inmi. Did you stop by the rebel hideout after His Majesty left? Yes, I thought it would be wise to assess the situation. But as I said before, there was nothing to see. It's not true. It's not true in multiple ways. It's either his wife went instead of him, or he went and didn't know, or went and it covered everything up. It's probably his wife went to check it out. Maybe. The hideout appeared as it always had. And the victim's body? It was nowhere to be found. Kalei Faye must have already disposed of it, and anything else incriminating. Oh, alright, that his wife was already there, right? So he didn't investigate from there. So when you saw the rebel hideout, it looked like it does in this photo. Yes, I would say that is how it appeared that day. The stone slab had been put back in place. I mean, I saw it after the incident, if that's true. I guess he's telling the truth because it updated the court record. So his wife hid it from him, if he's telling the truth. Mr. Wright, is it not time to concede defeat? No, wait, I just need a little more time. If you insist. Oh. Was there anything His Majesty and his family when the crime occurred? Weird. We're still in this after all that extra stuff. Logic would say that because this was updated, this has to be the pieces of evidence, because if it was another piece of evidence, I could have presented it earlier and not gotten this updated evidence. And case attorneys don't let you miss evidence. So the logic is I have to present this somewhere. What would that be, though? Was entertaining Majesty and his family. Then the crime occurred. Rebel was in the kitchen cooking the entire time. In the tape, I heard a man and a woman quarreling. It sounded like the altercation between Acolyte Zealot and Acolyte Faye. It was a loud noise followed by haunting silence. Describe this noise as a terrible crash. Poor Zealot, it must have felt so heavy. It would have to be this on this statement, because there's nothing else it could reasonably be. Like, we're pretty sure this thing didn't fall on him. Maybe no, it could have still made a loud noise. Like, even if it's not this, I don't know what it would be. Because we know that this is probably not. If he's telling the truth about this, it's not Faye, it's his wife. On tape earlier, I heard a man and a woman quarreling. Yeah, I'm curious what happens if I do this with Phoenix. I doubt there's much more testimony I could wring out of him by pressing. I can tell the judge is growing impatient. There have been some changes in both the testimony and the evidence. It means there could very well be an inconsistency somewhere. Gotta find it before he returns to the Twilight Realm. Okay, so changes in the evidence implies, yeah, the picture. I'm saying Majesty and his family when the crime occurred. My wife, Balib, was in the kitchen cooking the entire time, although we know this is kind of BS. Anything that ties her? Photo of the secret rebel is just as Emmy saw it after the incident. Oh! But how can Maya move the stone slab? That's probably a decent one. Maya could not possibly move the stone slab back to its current position if it fell. Maybe that's what it's pushing, going at. Let's try that. I think this is the most relevant statement anyway, that refers to the photograph, so it's got to be this.
Objection!
There we go. How about enemy? You said, and I quote, or is a lot, or it's the noise. It must have felt so heavy. Oh, also that too. How do you know he got crushed? Why do you think he felt something heavy? I didn't even pick up on that. That's my bad. He said the hideout looked like it did in this photo. If so, there's nothing that would lead you to believe that he experienced the heavy feeling. And we're catching him on the same thing we did in the first statement, that he knew something ahead of, or that he shouldn't have. Although I guess I was less sure if he knew he got, or the thing fell on him. So we didn't mention that either. The fact is, of course, the stone slab did fall onto Acolyte Zealot, impaling him on the Warbat statue behind him, but not leaving a mark anywhere else on his body. Ugh, God. But that was only revealed through her Benevolence's divine seance earlier. Would the defense please get to the point? To put it simply, hearing a crashing sound shouldn't have automatically led him to conclude the victim was crushed to death. Still don't see your point. I'm saying that the High Priest knew... 1 second, the High Priest knew, let me think about it. He knew something. It's right to my tongue. He knew how the victim was really killed. There it is. Why? And that information is only the real killer. And that is information only the real killer could have known. I definitely saw it that time. I've got the High Priest spirit shaking in his boots, or should I say sandals.
Objection.
Need I remind you, Abbot Inmi was with his magistrate at the time of the crime. Such an alibi precludes him from being the killer. That's true, so he can't be the killer. Man, those awkward pauses, it made me think of, what's his name? Gantz? From the third, Ace Attorney 1, that extra case. Just those weird pauses. That made me, I remember playing that for the first time and thinking my game was bugged in too, because I was playing it on an emulator at the time. Oh, that's funny. That's true, so he can't be the killer. However, he knew how Zealot was killed, something only the killer could have known, or could know. Can this discrepancy be resolved somehow? Well, Mr. Wright, we're waiting for an explanation. I was just getting to that. Time to think of something quick. The High Priest knew something only the killer could have known because he heard it from the real culprit. We must have heard how the victim died from the real killer. The real killer? Nervous? Of course, that makes perfect sense. I don't want to believe it, but this is the only possible explanation. So tell us, who is this real killer? It's gotta be someone close to the High Priest, someone without an alibi. The person most likely the Zealot's killer is... Here we go, finally got to this point.
Take that!
Your Majesty, while you were visiting the High Priest's home, you didn't see Mrs. Inmi at all, did you? No, I never saw her, but what does that have to do with anything? Did the High Priest ever leave your sight? No, we were talking the entire time. The food was brought right to the room's entryway. The High Priest has an ironclad alibi, excuse me. But his wife does not. Dun dun dun! What the devil are you insinuating? I think I've been insinuating since I first saw that lady, kind of. Not immediately, but a little later than that. I'm insinuating that Mrs. Inmi might have killed Acolyte Zealot.
Objection.
Rubble. You have a lot of nerve making such a baseless allegation. She had no motive to kill Acolyte Zealot. He was like family to her. No, we can't entirely discount the idea. Especially if you consider that Mrs. Inmi could have been the one posing as Lady Kira.
Objection.
Even a fool must temper his foolishness at times. Or do you truly believe Lady Kira would kill Acolyte Zealot through, though he was not a rebel?
Objection!
Boom. As we all know, the High Priest was secretly a rebel. It would follow that his favorite disciple could very well be a rebel. What's that could there? Are you suggesting that Mrs. Inme killed her husband as well? As sad as it is, oh my god, as sad as it is to think she'd kill her own husband to rid the kingdom of rebels, I don't think we can rule it out. Lost. Oh wow, he says it. Yikes. I think my wife is that rebel hunting lady, Kira. Well, actually, this is the... Maybe it's... I think it is that noise from Mega Man Legends, but it's also could be the... That noise when you get a new power in the original Mega Man X games. You know, like jewel signs. Maybe I'm misremembering that. I think it's more likely the Mega Man Legends thing. And that she slew both Zealot and myself. Did I read that? Then my wife is the rebel hunting Lady Kira, and that she slew both Zealot and myself? My lovely wife? That is utterly impossible. Look. Yikes. I've never seen the High Priest so angry. And it says, Abbot Inme oh my god. Abbot Inme stated. And the accused has already been found guilty of his murder. It's far too late to overturn it. That's right, Mr. Wright. Now apologize to the good priest before he gets angry again. Quickly now. No, I'm not going to apologize. Screw this guy. The true identity of Lady Kira is a major piece of this trial's puzzle. Admit it, Abbot Inme. Your wife, Lady Inma, killed you. Yet even now, you continue to lie in an effort to protect her. How absurd. It appears the lawyer has forgotten. My lovely wife could not possibly battle the rebels in the guise of Lady Kira. For we are blessed by her holiness and she is with child. Praise be to the Holy Mother. I mean, it doesn't stop it. Makes it difficult for sure, but it doesn't stop it. Actually, I completely forgot about that. But abominable Lady Kira figure who slew me and Acolyte Zealot was the accused. This is bad, but I can't give up now. Don't forget, my client doesn't have the strength to fight rebels either. Yeah, what about that? How could a weak young woman like her possibly... Oh. They're gonna care about this one that's convenient for them. You foolish oaf of a lawyer. If only you were as blessed as Lady Inme. What? Surely the accused possesses the strength, or should I say, the power. Power to battle those black-hearted rebels. Oh, if she channels... They're gonna use the channeling against her now. What are you talking about? My good prosecutor, I see you have come to the same conclusion as I. Such keen insight. And you have figured it out as well, Abbot Inme. May I ask you to explain it to this putrid brain lawyer? Certainly, for I cannot allow him to frame my lovely wife. Can I say Maya's channeling Lady Kira, foreign devil? Your Majesty, allow me to testify to how Maya Fey is that murderous Lady Kira. Well, if it would assuage your anger, then by all means, please testify. Boop, boop, boop. It's interesting, it's going to be full testimony for this. Maya Fey is Lady Kira. Maya Fey channeled Lady Kira's spirit. She's a spirit medium who knows Lady Kira's true name, so she could have done it. But she doesn't know her face, so that part's coming up in too. It was the real Lady Kira who returned to root out the rebels among us. She attacked and killed me with a strength far beyond any mortal woman. But you understand now? Murder by spirit channeling explains everything. This is the only way the accused could have defeated one rebel after another. Indeed, I am living, or I say, dead proof of her terrible power. Nice. Nice to get those puns in while you can. You don't get often to get to speak when you're dead. Hog! Maya's ability to channel spirits come back to haunt her. Now it is not time to let it go, or now is it not time to let it go and move on, defense? No, never. I'll never give up. Now what? Think. I gotta prove that Maya couldn't have channeled Lady Kira. Alright, here we go. It's pretty obvious. I think we had to coax that she that she got the name through the whatever it's called, the talisman scroll. Tome of Secrets. The tome, really? I guess, yeah, it's on the scroll. It doesn't roll out. It kind of folds out. Although I've never seen something like this called a tome before. More of a very, very long pamphlet. Acolyte Faye channeled Lady Kira spirit.
Hold it!
Acolyte channeled Lady Kira. Isn't that a little far-fetched? Far-fetched, you say? Why, the very fact that I am here proves she has the power to channel spirits. But you've no proof she actually channeled Lady Kira. Oh, but I do. You do? Have proof? She's a spirit medium who knows Lady Kira's true name, so she could have. That's not proof. When you use the word could have, that's not proof.
Hold it!
While it's true she may be capable of channeling Lady Kira, I doubt there's any proof she actually did. We are talking about the infamous rebel hunter here. The modern-day Lady Kira has captured many a rebel all by herself, and among them excuse me, and among them have been more than a few great warriors. Who but the real Lady Kira could have accomplished such a feat? It would be difficult for a mere mortal. It leaves the real Lady Kira of legend as the only likely answer. Yeah, just straight to that. Nothing else. No in between whatsoever. Indeed. Is this not proof enough of the real Lady Kira of legend has been channeled? The real Lady Kira of legend. That's an oxymoron if I've ever heard one. Then again, the people of Kurain believe legends to be true. So it was the real Lady Kira who returned to root out the rebels among us. I said the word. I know I said sus earlier. I apologize for that.
Hold it!
Lady Kira is an actual person? Do you really believe there ever was a woman of that powerful? One capable of battling rebels much bigger and stronger than herself? There's no way to prove that. But to doubt the existence of Lady Kira is to doubt Kuranism itself. It is not for us to question it, we must simply believe. Yeah, how dare you doubt our legends? You'll regret saying that you Pukunan. I didn't read the rest of that. Oh, I won't get anywhere until I can refute their claims with some evidence. She attacked and killed me with a strength far beyond any mortal woman.
Hold it!
We had to press all his statements so far from the last two testimonies to get anything. A strength far beyond any mortal woman, and just how strong would that be? You need but look at the wound she inflicted upon my body. Though I had hoped to never think about that again. I mean, you never didn't have. Well, I guess you can remember it somewhat. You wouldn't remember you dying, though. Your wound? Pretty deep, and there was a tremendous amount of blood. While Acolyte Zealot was rather small in stature, he was strong. Nevertheless, he was no match for the sheer strength of Lady Kira. My spirit channeling is proof that she's Lady Kira. This is not good. That's a proof she didn't channel the original Lady Kira. Okay, so we didn't have to suppress everything this time. Let fate channel Lady Spirit. What stuck out to me about press is the last statement. That's the one Phoenix kind of remarked on. I'm surprised we didn't point out the obvious, though. Among us, you can kill me with a very strict, far beyond any mortal woman. You bleed out? Not quite the same. Doesn't look that impressive. Okay. Because it's true name, she could have done it, but she doesn't know her face. That's the obvious thing here. Is there anything that refers to spirit medium talking? Like, we have to point out that rule. Because yeah, here's how she gets a name. We know the answer to that if it comes up. There's no face. Channeling this face doesn't work. I would think so anyway. None of this. None of this. No, none of this. No, we don't have anything like that. Really here returned to the worlds among us. She attacked and killed me with strength far beyond any mortal woman. You kind of impaled yourself, but I guess we're not going to point that out. Press this again.
Hold it.
Capable of channeling Lady Kira. Actually did. Hunter. Yeah. But Lady Kira could have accomplished such a feat. Look at Blood. That is an oxymoron for her one. Yeah, the people can only believe it's true. Necessary comment. I'm kind of metagaming it again. Like, this is where Phoenix said something interesting. Let me double check this. Strength for, because that's the only my current lead, or what I believe, is presenting that scroll or tome, I guess, on that statement about the name. But I don't think that's it. It's not like bringing me that direction. I think, like, I feel like Big Fabriano more woman. How would that be? Your wound, like that sound. When you hear that sound, that's typically kind of a hint sound. I mean, it's used every time he questions something, but Phoenix often questions something you're supposed to press on. Pretty demon. There was a tremendous amount of blood. Well, Zelda was a rather small in stature, but was strong. Well, she was no match for her sheer strength of Lady Kira. My spirit channeling is proof that she's Lady Kira. That's no good. No, I guess it wasn't that good though. Go with my original thought. Let's save. Present. Boom. Okay, I was right. Go with my instinct. That's twice I've kind of doubted myself, but I've been on the money. The Tome of Secrets is only given to the priestess who performs the purification rite. Is here proof that my client could have channeled Lady Kira? Yeah, I expected him to like bring this up naturally, and then it would have been easier to press on. Yes, indeed. What contains the true name of Lady Kira, a secret only revealed within. How about in me? I'm afraid you're mistaken. This couldn't have been used to channel Lady Kira. What nonsense! Mr. Wright, would you care to explain? This is why my client could have channeled Lady Kira. On the face. Take that! Lady Kira's face is hidden behind a mask in the Tome of Secrets. You need both a name and a face to channel a spirit. It can't be. Without a face, it would have been impossible for my client to channel Lady Kira. Oh my. Therefore, the claim that she became Lady Kira by means of spirit channeling is patently false. Ugh. And with Lady Kira out of the equation, my client had no motive to commit murder. But then, who is the rebel hunting Lady Kira we've been reading about in the paper? Yes, who is this other suspect, if indeed there is one at all? Man, let's hear the defense's brilliant deduction. Think. The true identity of Lady Kira is the key to solving both murders. Not Mrs. Enemy was suspicious, but her pregnancy takes her out of the running. Mr. Arbo is a rebel, so that doesn't make sense. That leaves us with, Alright, it's him. Mr. Wright, you have the look again. One where you have to say something, but you can't figure out what it is. My chance to really turn up the heat. I'll just have to stir the pot till something floats to the top. Your Majesty, I know who's been posing as the rebel hunting Lady Kira. You do? Are you sure about that? Yes, completely. This I may regret this, but please go ahead on and explain. Thank you, Your Majesty. This has been posing as the rebel hunting Lady Kira. So, seems like it's him. What I'm anticipating how the game's gonna interpret this is that, or gonna explain this, is that he hid his identity, to become Lady Kira, and he stayed with the high priest and his wife to get information on rebels and hunt them down. And like figure out where the hideout is and whatnot. So he's been hunting them by using these two. Sort of. So then he confronted his wife in the cave. Wife had to push the thing onto him. Dies, they had to cover it up. They're gonna shift the blame to Maya, I guess? Why would they protect this guy? If that's the case. But since Phoenix shot down her being the Lady Kira, I have to go with this. Let's do that. The true identity of the rebel hunting Lady Kira we seek is Hure Zalat. What's this? The high priest murdered disciple was Lady Kira, you say? Let's see where they go with this. Yeah, I guess that explains the weird relationship I was getting with the shrine in the rebel hideout. It makes more sense that, yeah, she's not Lady Kira. Yeah, I guess I could have put that together. That it was the Mr. Zealot. Doesn't sit right with me, but maybe it's true. Peace, I say peace. The defense will continue. Yes, Your Majesty. I whittled down the list of suspects until there was only one left.
Objection.
But a process of elimination is not the same as solid evidence. I assume you have evidence to back up your claim. Yes, of course. I will have some in a moment, that is. At least I hope so. Maya wasn't Lady Kira, and neither was Mrs. Enemy or any other possibilities. That leaves Zealot, and I have the evidence to prove it. Do I? This that proves Acolyte Zealot was posing as Lady Kira as this. Wait 1 second, let me just get through my papers here. Oh, the warning. Yeah, because it's the only someone in the home when we're, you know, shuffling Maya and Lady Enemy aside. Bam. This is what proves that Acolyte Zealot was Lady Kira. Lady Kira's warning letter. How absurd. But I still don't know. Okay, if it's him, it made sense if it was the wife leaving that to scare away the priest. No, the priest knew about it. Doesn't make any sense. I don't know why he's trying to scare him away from the right then. How absurd. What could that possibly prove? Prosecutor Sadamati. You stated that this warning letter proved that my client was Lady Kira. And the reason you gave that was the high priest's house was locked tight. There was another member of the family who lived there. Ah. Therefore, Acolyte Zealot could have delivered this warning, the warning anytime he wanted. What is he talking about? That's just not possible. But why would they hide it though? Because they're already outing themselves as rebels, but leaving the bodies there. Why would they hide that he was the Lady Kira? Are you saying Lady Kira was not the culprit, but rather the victim? That's exactly what I'm saying. Maybe they do it to save the hideout or something. But that would overturn the entire premise of this case. This trial is proceeded on this assumption that Lady Kira is behind the serial killings. But if Lady Kira is one of the victims, who was the killer and what was their motive? The only suspect left is Mrs. Enemy. There's only one possible motive. What if Mrs. Enemy is a rebel? What? Fiend, you're still bent on casting suspicion upon my lovely wife? Blasphemer! You have no evidence of this. Repent for the mistrust in your soul.
Objection!
You have no evidence either. After all, the dagger with my client's prints on it wasn't what killed Acolyte Zealot. And the Plume Punisher theme that was heard could have been an alarm clock. It means all the evidence linking her to the crime have been called in question. Was Lady Enemy a rebel, and did she pose as Lady Kira to kill Acolyte Zealot? Oh my god. Or was Acolyte Zealot a rebel and was accused of the Lady Kira who killed him? I would say either scenario is just as likely. Yeah, this is why it was a toss-up originally. If Lady Kira, the vigilante's motives were questionable, then Mrs. Enemy could have been using the hideout as the vigilante still. But if she was an innocent rebel, it makes more sense, so. Well, innocent rebel. If she was a rebel, it makes more sense. What are we to do now? The alarm clock, you say? You mean the one in the rebel hideout? Yes, but what of it? So that's it. What's gotten into him? What is his deal? How about enemy? Just what is so comical? Forgive my outburst. That has simply tickled my funny bone. What did? The theme song came from the Plume Punisher clock, you say? Humph! That alarm clock could not have possibly gone off. What makes you say that? The clock was working just fine last time I checked. Try using your head for a change. Would not the existence of a secret hideout be a giveaway if an alarm kept going off? I mean, yeah, but... Wait, you don't mean... Indeed, we leave that alarm switched off at all times. No! But we have... Oh, get around... This part's finally coming into play. In that case... I'm sad to say that the defense's claim does not hold water. Would you care to respond, Mr. Wright? Oh, it can't be happening. Not now. This should put an end to the lawyer's futile struggles. The theme song from the victim heard was the accused's strap, just as we suspected. Therefore, the accused is the rebel hunting Lady Kira and the victim's killer. I need an opening, something I can raise an objection to. That Plume Punisher theme song acted like Zealot heard in his final moments. I too heard it by the way of listening device. But did you really? If you had heard it, why didn't you testify to the fact before? Is it not obvious? I did not know such a tune could become the key matter of a dispute. Yes, the matter of the theme song came up before About Enemy was channeled. Oh, right. Well, then, what if he's lying about the clock's alarm being switched off? Miserable wretch. That would be a pointless lie, when easily disproven. If you check the clock, you will see that the alarm is in fact switched off. Or, come to think of it. What a fine item. The switch. If I'm right... We set the switch back into the off position before we left. I remember hearing it clearly. The distinctive taiko drums in the intro are etched into my mind. They went... Like a don 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 dun 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 dun. Right. Distinctive taiko drums in the intro. This trial has gone far too long. We shall move ahead into the verdict phase now. Alright, I pronounced that very weirdly. I don't know why I did that. Let me give that a second shot. This trial has gone on far too long. Shall we move ahead to the verdict phase now? By all means, and let us also return Abat's Amy's spirit to the Twilight Realm. Before I go, let me say a word to my darling wife.
Objection!
No. Screw you and your wife. You don't get to talk to her. Now, hold on just 1 minute. That's rude. I apologize, sir. Even if you are a killer trying to accuse my innocent friend. Your Majesty. Yes. The High Priest's statement is inconsistent with a certain piece of evidence. It is. Still writhe in your defiance of your fate. Very sight reminds me of a tortured soul writhing in flames. You won't be saying that once I show you the evidence. Now all I have to do is pick the right one. Alright. The evidence is inconsistent with the statement about the taiko drum intro. Which one is it? Oh god, what piece was it? I forget which one it was. One of these talked about it. It's not this. No. This one? No. Where is it? I remember seeing. Oh, here. Right. I was looking for text, but it's not on the not on this. Bam. This is what's inconsistent with my with his statement. My client's Plume Punisher strap. What does that have to do with anything? It plays the Plume Punisher theme song, and here it is. The theme to the Plume Punisher, Warrior of Neo Twilight Realm. God, I want to say Neo Tokyo. God, it sounds so wrong. Like a Silva Gunna remix or something. Do you see what I mean? The music the victim heard in his final moments might not have been Plume Punisher theme song. I'm afraid I am not following you. What was it if not the Plume Punisher theme? His final moments, Acolyte Zealot heard the Steel Samurai theme. Here we go. Finally, we get the payoff. There are no taiko drums in the intro of the Plume Punisher theme. What Acolytes are actually heard in his final moments was the theme of the Steel Samurai Warrior of Neo Tokyo. I thought it was going to play the same. We'll get there eventually. Peace, 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 I say. Mr. Wright, what is this Steel Samurai of which you speak? Steel Samurai, Warrior of Neo Tokyo, is an action hero show from America. Or Japanifornia, or whatever our country is. The Plume Punisher theme is a total, is very similar to it. Phoenix, don't be nice to these people. They're doing everything they want, they can to kill you. If you didn't know about the Steel Samurai, you could be easily mistaken to. The fact that Acolyte Zealot heard music from an American action show is irrefutable evidence that the accused was in the secret hideout. Not so. Actually, no. You have it backwards. Backwards? That's right. Miss Faye met an avid Plume Punisher fan here in Kurtain, and as a token of their friendship, she traded a certain Steel Samurai item she had for the Plume Punisher strap. And this avid Plume Punisher fan was the one who killed Acolyte Zealot? Yes. And that avid fan is none other than the High Priest's wife, Believe in me.
Objection.
Do you have any evidence to back this up, this claim, Mr. Wright? For as forgiving as the Holy Mother is, I doubt she would tolerate yet another dose of your baseless slander. Oh, I can back this one. I suggest you prepare yourself to face her holiness wrath. Wow. Free, huh? Oh, I'm prepared to turn this entire case upside down, that is. Got him. This is my last chance. I'm gonna take a deep breath and review the evidence. Very well then, please present your evidence, if you would, defense. This time, I actually am so confident I'm gonna do it without saving. The evidence that proves Mr. Emi was the one who killed Acolyte Zealot is this. Caution to the wind. Boom. It's right here in this family photo. Proof that Mr. Emi and Miss Faye traded items during their featuring their favorite characters. Excuse me. Family photo. And what exactly should we be looking at here? Proof that they exchanged items featuring their favorite characters is right here. Bam. Present that. Look at Mrs. Emi's left wrist. You can see the Steel Samurai trademark top knot right there. Which clearly makes this a Steel Samurai watch. Ugh. Why happens if that stays out there? Why don't you just run away if you can get out of the body? Just forget the Twilight Realm. Just stay hang out here as a ghost. Why, I never knew your wife had such hobbies, Abba and me. This family photo was taken right before Acolyte Zealot was murdered. It was! What's the timeline here? Is it specifically 2 or 3? Like, yeah, Zealot leaves right around 2. Judge comes in. Like, Zealot leaves with the wife. Ooh, I would like to... Was he falling? Why did... I bet the wife wanted to get him in as a rebel. She showed him the hideout. He like reveals himself as Lady Kira. She pushes the stone sablet to kill him. But still, I don't know why they hide the fact that he's Lady Kira. Alright, but at that point, my client had the Punisher strap and Mrs. Emi had the Samurai watch. So what the victim heard in his final moments was none other than the sound of the watch Mrs. Emi was wearing. Hold it! We're still in my testimony. What I thought were Takio drones were something else. My wife never had such a watch. Too late, dude. It's the truth I tell you. You must believe me, your majesty. You gonna help me out here, buddy? Seems like you're about to. You're not deceived by the defense's lawyerly... Oh my god, chicanery. Hey, I know how to pronounce this word. I would have not have like a year or two ago, I guess. I do now. Now what? He's been pretty quiet up to this point. What does he have up his sleeve? There's a big gaping hole in his flimsy claim. I think it's been more than... How long has that show been out? At least that episode. No, it's been multiple years. I didn't watch that show until it was like 4 or 5 seasons in. I have a habit of doing that. I did the same thing with Game of Thrones. I didn't watch that until it was like 4 seasons in. Oh, those were the days when that show was 4 seasons in. Game of Thrones. Oh, let's not think about that. There's a big gaping hole in his flimsy claim. Big gaping hole? I don't think so. Oh no, I'm afraid it's there, all right. Just like the big gaping holes in your putrid brain. Your brain is neither putrid nor full of holes. That's no. I get those holes are for speed, like less wind resistance. Boom. I'm not a zombie after all. Says the dead lawyer walking. Dude, that's obviously not going to hold anymore. He who is narrow of vision focuses on what is before him, never seeing the big picture. Or as they say in your country, you cannot see the forest for the trees. Or if it's as you said, and Lady Enemy the rebel slew Acolyte Zealot, the rebel hunting Lady Kira, then the rebel hunter would have been dead before the high priest was slain. Ah, that means High Priest could not have been slain by the rebel hunting Lady Kira. How could I have missed that? So tell me, who are you gonna say killed the High Priest now? He killed himself. Still not 100% sure on why. Like, he's hiding evidence, clearly. But to what extent? Like, is it to keep his wife safe? Is it to hide the location of the secret base? Like, keeping his wife safe obviously is probably like the biggest motive. I don't know why he has to kill himself to do that, other than he knows like the divine seance is really unreliable. You finally understand the sheer size of the holes that riddle your putrid brain. I'm in hot water now. I don't have any other suspects in the high priest murder. You mindless zombie, you should have begun your journey into the Twilight Realm long ago. Let it go and move on. Yeah, this is not a good catchphrase. No, I will never give up. I just need to think of things through and figure out who really killed the high priest. Alright, well, we know the answer to this. The guy like Zilla had been Lady Kira, he couldn't have killed the high priest. The question is, who did? Maybe I can get to the bottom of this by reviewing the events of this case in order. One of us could tell me something about the crime scene before the murder. Nice testimony. Yeah, that little paper hasn't been relevant yet. Spring was stained red before the rite. Alright, Maya said the spring had been stained red before the rite even began. Spring was already red before the high priest's murder because of Zealot's blood. Damn. We know this. That's right, Zealot had been killed in the rebel hideout the day before the rite. His blood flowed into the spring. Wait a second, the high priest knew that Zealot had been killed in the hideout, but why didn't he report it to the authorities? Because he's a rebel, might have been the killer, he could have easily had her arrested on the spot. Why did the high priest inform the authorities then? Keep the hideout hidden, right? Why did they keep the hideout secret? If he reported Zealot's murder, authorities would have found out about the hideout. That's what he was worried about. But by going through with the rite, High Priest risked having Maya see the spring running red with blood. Just to eliminate the evidence then? That's why he framed Maya? Why did he have to go through with the rite? Did he want to set up the thing during it? He didn't have to do any of this though. Use the rite to cover things up. Like, Maya would just went on with her life and just not even mention that the water was red to anyone. No one would have known. She just not made a big deal of it at all. Wanted to set the crime scene to conceal the hideout. That's why that doesn't work as an explanation, at least to me. But how is he planning on concealing the source of the blood in the spring? He used his own blood. Yeah, so he killed himself. Because no one's even allowed to go up there. So after Maya, it's like Maya didn't care, and no one else would have been able to check. Could have, you know, dried up or not turned less red on its own. He sealed the source of the blood with his own. That's how he kept the rebel hideout a secret. It was starting to fall into place. Who killed the high priest? It was Alrast himself. Power's death was a suicide. I can't believe it. High Priest took his own life to keep the rebel hideout a secret. He didn't need to do that. That was a wild, what's the word called? Overaction. That's way more than he needed to do. So there's a specific word for that. That's way overcompensating. That's what it is. Overcompensating by a lot. He also could have just been honest with Maya and she would have kept it the secret. High Priest wasn't murdered by anyone. Took his own life to keep the rebel hideout a secret. Well, if he told Maya about the murder, she probably wouldn't have kept that secret. But if he told her to keep the water red a secret, she probably would have. As long as she didn't know about the murder. He took his own life to keep the rebel hideout a secret. What? What? What's this? High Priest committed suicide? I've never heard anything more absurd. I kind of, yeah, from when we first, I even said that when we first saw that message. It looked like he was running towards the thing, not the other way around. I just couldn't figure out why, and I feel like that's a weak reasoning, but sure. If he did it to protect his wife in some means, I get it. Like, in protecting the hideout, that's noble too, but he didn't need to do this. I've never heard anything more absurd. The lawyer has placed a stain on the good priest's death with his putrid brain. His putrid gaping holes are as large as the hole in his logic. What hole? Yeah, spell it out for me. You still fail to understand? You truly cannot see the forest for the trees. Then the high priest took his own life. But have you considered who brought the dagger to the Plaza of Devotion? Ah, it's his wife. After the high priest was killed, the dagger was thrust into the Acolyte Zealot's dead body. Only the accused Maya Fey could have done that. How, though? Well, okay, are they saying it's happened? No, it couldn't happen in the morning because we had the police investigating. When did that happen? Okay, it wasn't left in the body. When was that dagger placed there if it wasn't always there in his praying position? Because if it's after Maya got arrested, that doesn't make sense. She couldn't have done it. But if it's before, then it should have noticed the body was dead before the trial happened. Like, was the dagger in an obvious spot the whole along, or was it not? But no, it's his wife. Could have done that. This prosecutor Sanamati says, your claim is rather porous in its logic, and your evidence is too weak. You cannot prove that the high priest took his own life to conceal the rebel hideout. You're right, the dagger was impaled in the zealot's body, but his body had been placed at the plaza the previous day. Well, Mr. Wright, would you care to respond? The zealot's body was already in plaza the day before the rite. What if the dagger was also already in him at that time? The dagger was never at the inner sanctum. Ooh, I trust the soul. Russ dived by a different weapon. Oh, this is what they're complaining about. Of course, that's it. What is it? There was no need to move the dagger. It had already been stabbed into Acolyte Zealous. Okay, that's what I forgot. Like, I already made the assumption that, yeah, he ran into the statue, but we have to, like, prove that. Even though we should be able to. Or it's kind of implied, but whatever. It had already been stabbed into Acolyte Zealous' body the day before the rite. Okay, so it was there the entire time. And they hit it somehow. What? So that means... What does that mean? It means the dagger wasn't the weapon that took the High Priest's life.
Objection.
But no weapon was ever found in the inner sanctum. If you will not listen to reason, then I insist you prove your assertion. Show me what you believe is the real murder weapon to be. The real murder weapon? I've got nothing, but I know there had to be a weapon there. Maybe if I think back on the trial this far, I'll spot the clue I need. How can we not determine this? I said this, like, literally, as soon as I saw that statue. Well, would the defense care to tell us what the real murder weapon is? And it's all the vision we saw could imply, the divine seance. This is what really killed the High Priest. This thing.
Take that!
Thing. What really killed him has been the inner sanctum all this time, and its lethality has already been demonstrated by the late acolyte Zealot. That's right, it was the Warbod statue. Oh, there he's dead. Kunaka. Yeah, you're not a good lawyer, by the way. There's never been a single time where he's been clever or we've seen he's been manipulating things behind the scene very well. He just kind of showed up to work. He's like, oh no, just quit. He's like telling me to quit over and over. He's like barely better than Winston Payne. You believe that the statue claimed both victims' lives? Would you care to chime in, Abbott and me? No, he lies. Pay him no heed. Hold it. Quiet. Is it the wife? Yeah, finally. Lady in me. Darling, don't you think this has gone on long enough? Believe it, no. Your Majesty, my wife knows nothing. Please, Abbott and me, let your wife speak. I want to hear the justification for hiding the identity of Zealot as Lady Kira. Lady Amy, please continue if you would. It's that time again. What time would that be? 2:30 in the afternoon, the time my husband conducts his daily prayers, and the time Pule was slain. Boo, 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 boo. There it is. I can't enjoy it that much because of the scene, though. Kinda little bit of a downer. It's energetic music isn't too fitting. That sound, it's Steel Samurai alarm. I too like to pray at the same time as my dear husband. So I set an alarm to remind me each day, but I had no idea it would come to this. Still a good thing though. Boom, boom. No, stop. She knows not what she speaks. Does that song get played in more Phoenix Wright games than or Ace Attorney games than any other one? Because we hear like some game 1 themes occasionally. I think it came back for like game 3. They play back the old music. Like Steel Samurai plays pretty much any time it's slightly relevant. It's like in investigations. It's in multiple Ace Attorney games, like across the entire trilogy, really, or both trilogies even. Was it in Dual Destinies? Maybe not. I think it was in Apollo Justice. No, maybe not. It was Investigations, definitely. Oh. No, stop. She knows not what she speaks. Your Majesty, I am the one who slew Acolyte Zealot. Oh god, I'm not gonna yell. My throat's already kind of hurting a bit. How about in me? Bailiff, summon a physician at once. That's gonna be weird. Because it's his body, but it's Maya's body. Physician is now attending to the High Priest, so there's no need to fear. I mean, what's going on here? Let's continue. And what about the half of him called Maya, that is? Yeah, I want to know what the dynamics of that are. Give me a report of that later. Mrs. Amy, will you tell us everything you know? The truth is, I am a rebel just like my husband. This tragedy unfolded before the rite during the Feast of Blessings. I'd gone to the rebel hideout to prepare it for Dot's escape. That's when Acolyte Zealot suddenly appeared. Yes, Prune was shocked when he saw me there. Oh, it was just by accident. Acolyte Zealot did not know you were a rebel? I do not believe he did. I believe he was there simply to investigate the hideout. He suddenly came face to face with Mrs. Inme. The true identity of the rebel hunting Lady Kira was Prune Zealot? Yes. He was a member of the secret police, serving directly under the Minister of Justice. Secret police? This is what he said to me. I can kill rebels with impunity. The Justice Minister has my back. Ooh, I wonder if that's on. Ooh, that's probably on the tape. The listening device. Oh, that's gonna come first. Oh no, but the bailiff went to get it, and they're gonna listen to it first, and they're gonna delete it. Oh, that sucks. Oh man, he was using his position within the secret police to deal us rebels a heavy blow. But murder sanctioned by the crown is still murder. Even without the DC Act, Dirk and his insurgent scum buddies' days are numbered. What's that supposed to mean? Let's just say I got a little trick up my sleeve, but I'd watch it if I were you. Cause you got a defiant attitude, like one of them dragon dupes. The trick up Minister's sleeve was Lady Kira. No, this can't be. My father would never. This must be a bolt of like a bolt out of the blue for Rafa. Have you looked at your father ever? How could you look at that guy and think anything positive about him? This explains why Acolyte Zealot abandoned his real name. Yes. Hide his identity. Gotcha. Even went as far as covering up the tattoo that all Kurnish clergy members receive. Lady Kira was a member of the secret police. That explains why no order was given to investigate her attacks. Guess I'm not alone in hearing this for the first time. But this cannot be. Is this true? The Justice Minister is sanctioning state-sponsored murder? Peace. Now, Lady Enemy, please continue. Ray suddenly lunged at me. That's when I pushed the stone slab toward him with all my might. But I never meant to, or for what happened next to occur. Hold it. Actually, this is the second time the murderer has been a woman, right? No, not Dahlia. Dahlia was the murderer too. But I'm thinking back to Ace Attorney 1. It was, what was her name? God, I said her name earlier when I was playing, but I can't remember now. Something fancy. The smoking woman. She was a murderer too, but it was also by accident. Kind of a weird trend. But I guess Dahlia breaks it. Unless there's another woman killer I'm forgetting. Oh, no, it wasn't her. Thinking of Dual Destinies for a second. No, that's not her. I can't think of another one off the top of my head. Well, I mean, there's the investigation games, but I'm not counting those. Those are technically spin-offs to me. Maybe I should count those, but there's some female murderers in there. Oh, it's weird. And that one even too. The airline one, it's pushing someone off a ledge, which is the same thing that's basically happening here. We're pushing the stone statue. It was, God, I forget her name in the first Ace Attorney, the old woman, pushing that guy off the ledge into the spikes. So it's kind of accidental in a lot of those cases. Although I think the plane one was more deliberate. I'm going to take it from here. How about Enemy? Although, actually, yeah. But they were directly confronted. That's another coincidence, is that she was she was confronted by a killer. What was her name in the first one? I can't believe I'm blanking on it. She was confronted by a killer. I think, no, the plane one, she wasn't confronted by a killer. She just knew that guy was looking around. But then from the mainland games, it's very similar. How about Emmy? Are you sure you're all right now? I'm sorry I had to see that, but you need not worry about me. I am already dead. Yeah, there you go. Please, we need to know what was so important that you would take your own life. After I learned that my wife had accidentally slain Zealot, I chilled his body with snow to make it seem as if he died more recently than he did. Yeah, but why not just throw him off the cliff? No, you don't want to do that. That implies that he died from up there and only you're allowed to be up there, so that's bad. Like, I don't know. Just bad at it, I guess. And later I moved into the Plaza of Devotion and inserted the dagger into his wound. The plaza was empty at the time, for it was both prayer time before prayer time had started. Finally, I placed his body in the prayer pose, knowing that no one would notice anything was wrong until the rite had concluded. Perfectly plausible that no one would disturb him if he was seen to be praying. You treasure our prayer time, after all. You admit you tried to pin this crime on Maya Fey. Yes, this was all my doing. I guess it had to come to him being Maya. So he had to get her accused, because it had to be Maya framed if he was going to do that. He couldn't throw the body off the cliff, because then he would know to come from up there. Then it implicates him and Maya. I guess his wife. There's probably a better way to do it, but I guess that wraps it up. This is all my doing. Never told my wife of my plan, for surely she would have tried to stop me. How did you get Miss Faye's fingerprints on the dagger? I had her hold it while we were rehearsing the rite the day before. Right before the rite, I drugged her with a sleeping agent. And I put Lady Kira's robe over the Warbad statue. That means Maya was probably already groggy by the time the rite started. Finally, I ended my own life, ensured that the crime would appear to have been Acolyte's Faye's own hand. But when your body was discovered, Lady Kira's robes were on the ground. How did they end up there if they were on the statue? So I impaled myself on one of the statue's dagger-like feathers. I used the last ounce of my strength to hurl my body backwards. Oh, good thing you actually managed to do that and did die instantly. Otherwise, this case would have been a lot easier. As I did, I grabbed onto the robes, taking them with me as I fell back on the onto the ground. How terrible! What possessed you to do such a thing? You needn't have committed suicide simply by to frame the accused. Prosecutor Sadamati, one well versed in our kingdom's legal system, I would expect you of all people to understand. Understand what? You really? You can't see this? This is why you're a bad prosecutor, dude. What's like the one thing that's most important of all in like these trials? This kingdom's legal system. This is enemy's crime. Your suicide. Can't be. That would be sadder than sad. I believe the defense knows of what this high priest speaks. Yes, I finally understand. This explains why the high priest took his own life. Oh. I mean, it's to fool the divine judgment, but I guess we present. Well, it's not, we're not in danger anymore, but yeah, I don't need this. I don't know why I'm doing this. Out of habit, I guess. My statement. This has never been relevant until now. And how, pray tell, does that explain why he took his own life? Don't you see? The reason is right here. There's nothing. Oh, nothing. So, oops. Push that hand. Whoopsie. Oh, did I get it wrong? Why would the high priest commit suicide? It was for his wife's sake. Then maybe. I finally understand why the high priest took his own life. Yeah, we need to talk about the divine seance, but what relates to that? Right, wrong. Because we don't have anything along those lines. Wait. Ah, this. There we go.
Take that!
The Defense Culpability Act. Circumstantial evidence supports Mr. Emmy's killing of the Acolyte Zealot in self-defense. However, it would be next to impossible to prove it without a lawyer. That's why the High Priest wanted to pin the crime on Maya Fey. I fail to see what that has to do with his suicide. In Kurain, the divination seance is the most important piece of trial evidence. The High Priest wanted to frame Miss Fey as a serial killer. It was a clever plan in which he made sure he'd see Lady Kira in his final moments. The lawyer speaks true. That's why I placed Lady Kira's robe on the Warbad statue. Made it seem that Acolyte Faye was a rebel hunting Lady Kira. But are you saying you used my divination seance to produce false evidence? Forgive me your benevolence, but it was the only way to help my lovely wife. He had approached me first. I could have proved that the murder was in self-defense. Perhaps. But I had little faith in lawyers despite being a rebel. Yeah, dude, trust would have sorted a lot of this out. Utterly foolish to cast away one's life for such a reason. There must have been other ways to cover up the crime. Yet I had done so. My wife would rush to my defense. When the case went to trial, I guess this is a better point. It would suffer the same fate as I under the Defense Culpability Act. I could not have lived with myself had she been convicted because of that fiendish man. This cannot be. All I have done under the laws of our kingdom, it has all been. Or Rafa, she's really taking this hard. I can't say I'm surprised. Mr. Phoenix Wright, it is time to show the might of your legal prowess. You mustn't allow another innocent soul to be charged under that despicable law. Of course, I'll do whatever I can. What I've done to you in Acolyte Faye is unforgivable. I can only offer my most humble of apologies. Your Majesty? Yes? Ask that you please look after my wife. Beyond my word. Your benevolence, it is time that I return to the Twilight Realm. The Magatama are parting, if you would please. Very well. Hold it. Benevolence, please allow me the honor. Yes, it would be more fitting for you to send him on his way. This is in me. Darling, I'm so glad we were able to see you one last time. Thank you for everything. Oh. I was wondering if he was going to put the shirt back on. I'm sorry to leave you like this, my love. There's no way they could get away with doing that joke. Because he's come down just enough. I'm ruining the scene, sorry. Sorry to leave you like this, my love. But now you can watch over me from the world beyond. Yes, always and forever. And with every breath I take, my darling, I'll be thinking of you. Farewell, my darling Tarast. Well, then, the High Priest has returned to the Twilight Realm. Maya! I feel great. I guess that means he didn't leave any regrets behind. Oh! But what about the trial, Nick? It's over. It was sad reality born of love, a great tragedy born of the Defense Culpability Act. Well, I see no need to continue this trial. Does the prosecution have anything to say? Mr. Phoenix Wright, I owe a debt to you, one that I will pay back in the court someday. Now, to deliver today's verdict and overturn that of yesterday's trial, with respect to all current and previous charges against them, I hereby declare the accused Maya Fey and her defense Phoenix Wright not guilty. We did it! Hooray! No confetti, but we get butterflies. Huh. That's gonna do it. So we are getting set up for the final case, I feel like. There might be a soft fourth case or like a very short fourth case, I think, and like then a long fifth case that are technically like the fourth and fifth episodes, I should say, are connected. One's set up for the other. Or we can just run into the fourth case and it's the final one. Let's see, but I think a lot of the second trilogy have had short fourth cases before a fifth case. Right? I think Dual Destinies had one too, kind of. You had like the mini astronaut one, then the full what actually happened in Athena's past. I think that, yeah, that was the fourth and fifth case. And same thing with Apollo Justice, where you figured out what happened in the past, then figured out what happened in the, solved everything in the present. Dakota Corain, accused lobby. I was thinking, Nick, the legal system here is really stacked against the defense. As always, Totally unfair. Yeah, it even forced the high priest to make the ultimate sacrifice just to protect his wife. Just so sad. Take the status quo or join the revolution. The real Lady Kira over here, I wonder which side she would take. Hey, Rafa, how you doing? Your benevolence. Huh? What? I was just wondering, are you alright? Quiet, you. How can I possibly be alright? Yeah, she's not doing well at all. Who do you think you are, suddenly appearing before me? Trampling my insights underfoot and plunging the Hall of Justice into utter chaos. Oh yeah, her dad's not gonna be happy about this. You even desecrated my mother and father's teachings, you soulless fiend, infidel. Kind of the same thing. No, a little different. Means very differently, but can mean the same thing sometimes. Oof, that was a bit more extreme than usual. What am I to do? I'd always believed that the communing with the victims of Mitama would lead me to the absolute truth. Each time you overturned my insights, it was revealed that they served to support false charges rather than the truth. I'm left now with that heavy truth in my heart. Sorry, Rafa. Perhaps I'm not worthy of hearing the voices of the Mitama. That's where you're wrong, your benevolence. What? Maya? How dare you? Your role is to bring forth the voices of the Mitama into our world. If you don't do it, who will? You know nothing, Maya Fey. It was spirit channeling, not a divination seance, that brought the truth to light. How dare an outsider like you employ the Queen's secret art? Well, what can I do? My spiritual power does not even approach yours. Is it not a cruel joke? The royal priest is bested by a lowly outsider. Don't be so hard on yourself. Why not? It is worth at least a laugh or two. You shouldn't talk like that. Huh? Listen, your benevolence. You were just fulfilling your duty, weren't you? And you're the only one capable of performing the divination seance, right? The station of royal priestess is not something to abandon lightly. The station of royal priestess. The people of your kingdom believe in you, but if you really mean all that you just said, then what are they supposed to believe in? Not the monarchy, that's what. You know not of what you speak. Actually, I kind of do. After all, I'm not only, oh my god, I'm only training, oh my god. I'm only training so I can become the master of my village back home. A village master, you say? I did not know. Seems like I owe you an apology. For even today, I called you a neophyte practitioner. All right, your benevolence. Thank you for finally acknowledging me. Your queen and a future village master. I guess you shouldn't be surprised. Considering they may have had a common ancestor. Gonna keep that secret to ourselves, though. Amaya's right, your benevolence. Barbed head, your insights were a crucial piece of evidence in this last trial. Doesn't matter if they weren't always 100% accurate. You should be proud of what you did. You played an important role in ensuring that justice was served. Besides, your insights aren't the problem here. It's your kingdom's legal system. Without lawyers, your insights have come to be accepted as the sole truth. The Defense Culpability Act, which gave rise to that, is the root of it all. That is the dangerous thinking of a rebel. Your benevolence. As Crown Princess, you are destined to rule this kingdom one day. Things there will be many things that you alone must determine. Things like how to keep your people happy and what is true and what is false. Most importantly, what role you must play therein. We're getting close to wrapping up, so I'll make it through. But if I am even up to the task, knowing you, your benevolence, you're more than capable. Never heard Maya talk like this before. She's really come a long way. Yeah, really. Oh my god. That didn't sound like a fun explosion. What was that? Came from the hallway. Smoke, we better go check it out. Hurry. Mrs. Enmy. Mr. Right, Acolyte Faye, I'm so sorry for what transpired. You were almost sentenced to death because of me. Ooh. I will make amends by picking up where my husband left off. I will see the revolution through, so nothing like this can ever happen again. But that is the depth of my love for my dearly departed husband. This is the Kirla sign. Lady in me, we gotta hurry. Voice, is that Mr. A rebel? Must tell the people, we must learn that must tell the people, they must learn that the peace we enjoy is a false one. One built on the backs of innocents charged with false crimes under that odious DC Act. We have it in our power to forge a society in which the law judges all of us fairly. Hey there, PW. Wish we had more time to talk, but Dirk, everything's ready. It's go time. Dirk. Oh, hey, there's the dude. What's up, man? Wait, was that the rebel leader Dirk? Jeez. After him, don't let him get away. The power to forge a society in which the law judges all of us fairly. The start of a legal revolution. Hey Nick, hate to bother you while you're lost in thought, but I just got this great idea. What is it? Steel Samurai versus the Rebel Dirk. I bet it'd make for another awesome TV show. And if we threw in the Plume Punisher in there, everyone would go nuts over it. I'll never get what she sees in those shows. It's good to know that no matter what happens, Maya will always be Maya. Wow, we're just gonna leave it there, huh? Okay, well, yeah, I guess that's it. They said this guy looked pretty evil, but they tricked me pretty well with that. Yes. All right, well, that's case 3. We definitely feel like we're entering the end game here. I don't know if there's a short case 4 or just a long case 4, but it feels like what we're going into is like the final part. If it's part 1, sure, but it's gonna be, or if there's just one part, whatever. Oh, but before we leave, how about we take a little sneak peek? What's in store for us tomorrow? Just one more streaming day of this week. You on this explode? So please turn about storyteller. Going back to Apollo and Athena.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What time is it? It's 9, 10, 11.
Oh. Huh. Chisho's dead. No, do you think he did it? Oh no, if he did, what do we do? It's going by itself. Hey, pull yourself together. Don't worry, I have an idea. Huh. You know, honestly, okay, whoa, right in the core room? And then lobby number 6. Well, you know about that stuff I said about entering the end game? I guess we got a filler case. Oh boy. I mean, I don't know. It'll probably have some important details. I figured we'd be playing as Apollo and Athena one more time. This is weird to have them just for that one case. But I figured they'd come out to Kura in for us to, you know, advance the plot. Guess not. So, yeah. I guess, well, we'll figure out what's happening here next time, because this is a weird setup for sure. I'll be back 10 a.m. Pacific time tomorrow. Usual time. And I don't know. I really want to stream on the weekend, but I don't know if I can. Actually, no, I know I can't. I'm going away for the weekend. Well, at least for Saturday. I might be able to do something on Sunday, but I'm probably not gonna. I'm gonna be real tired after Saturday. So yeah, well, one more day this week, but then we'll come back on Monday probably. So yeah, 10 a.m. Pacific time. If you want to see me live, come back in tomorrow. For those you've been watching live or on YouTube, thanks for joining me, and I'll see you guys later.